He's hit Neil Warrnock right in the face. Keith Kerr was playing and he was kicking absolute lumps out of everyone because he knew that the ref wasn't going to send him off because he'd have to abandon the game. He must have said something to them in there because Chris Kirkland came in trying to fight Warnock. He's come with the idea he'll set his boots on fire. I don't want you to go, but I've been told not to persuade you to stay. And then this Italian guy came in around the Christmas time. But yeah, he was a nightmare. We were supposed to go on the Christmas do straight from the game. We lost the game, cancelled it, said everyone had to come back. But he didn't obviously put the team that he was told to play, and he got sacked. I think if you put his name, Neil Warrnock, I think it comes in as something like Colin Wanker, doesn't it? Is that right?
You okay, chaps?
Are we getting
Receiving? Oh, I got a little thumbs up there. I like it. Patreons.
How do you put them on? How do you put the little thumbs up
don't
on?
get him started on emojis. Jesus Christ.
I've one of them.
I'm not pressing any buttons.
Dude,
no
don't
buttons.
touch anything. Don't touch anything. So, video link once again.
I've been stressing about this all day, lads.
You've been an angry man today. Never seen you.
Grumpy?
I've been grumpy today, yeah. Very grumpy.
What's the matter?
Just day 14, 15, whatever it is, or something, whenever we've been in house.
Day 15 in the parking house.
The hand on the head, just laugh. Everybody feels sorry for us.
And we've got a big grumpy bear in the kitchen.
I can cope with the. Well, not really cope with it, but I've not seen my little one for 2 weeks because I had a cough and that, didn't I? So that's the main reason. I'm seeing him tomorrow, so that's not a plea for like
children,
sympathy, like that, lads.
Any children out there?
But yeah, so I'm not pressing the button on here now. I'm just now we're on. Hopefully, I'll stay on for duration.
I quite like.
I'm enjoying it. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still in my underpants from this morning. Yeah. Don't have to see you fuckers all the time.
You're probably still in your underpants from fucking last Thursday, you.
I've not come here for a week.
He doesn't wear them. Go on.
I'm going to go for the tosh look from the bill.
You're going to leave it?
Yeah. I'm not going outside. Go for the paedophile look.
You've still got people in your house that are going to see you, haven't you?
Well,
you know what I mean?
They're all right.
Impressive.
Accept me as I come.
Yeah. How would you feel if you let all her hair get scraggy all over the place?
Could be right.
A bit like that, the old Mickey Flanagan one, isn't it? Where he's getting it all.
There's no chance anyhow. Comb over's not going to make a difference.
Picking the old pube.
Would you say we've lacked a bit of energy so far in this intro? It is 10 o'clock at night for those who.
When I said, to be fair, you were supposed to be doing it at 3 o'clock, and then it got put back to 5 o'clock. It's now fucking 10 bells.
Yeah.
Marsha, the last Patreon, we are out.
Yeah, good. It? I did, very much so. It was his birthday the other day, weren't it?
It was.
Yeah, it was his birthday the other day. Many happy returns, Marcy, if you're listening. I very much doubt it, but many happy returns.
Another old school footballer who's just a top fellow, wasn't he? Got involved in the races. It was Cheltenham week, so he didn't have a clue who he backed, how much he had on, but he was cheering on every single horse.
He just enjoyed himself, didn't he? Just enjoyed himself. But no, all good fun. All good fun. Who have we got this week?
Tonge. Michael Tonge.
King Tong.
It's things, you forget, because when did we record him? We must have recorded him a month back, wasn't it?
Will have been.
Yeah,
we got
4 or 5 in quick succession.
Luckily, really, weren't it?
Luckily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Teammates of both of you.
Yes, both at Preston, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a strange one with Tongy, because he'll explain all in the podcast, but when Fergie got sacked, we never seen him again. So
I think he might have got the old shepherd's hook from Sir Alex speaking to Tony. I think at Stoke, wasn't it?
It's playground stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, funny though. Funny.
Yeah.
No, but it's not great for Tonge, like, but it's funny.
I'd like to hear that conversation.
I'll show him, Darren. Don't you worry, I'll show him, Darren.
Who's that? Oh, that's speaking. I've got Sir Alex on this week's episode, lads. It's brilliant. It's Zoom.
We're through now.
We've got Sir Alex coming in.
The terrible light in my living room, by the way. Look like a corpse.
Oh, it's not doing your complexion any good.
It's not. Jesus.
No. Been out walking?
Did a 6 miler today.
Did you? 6 miler, good work.
Yeah. Just under an hour it took us.
Okay, that's a sprint
route.
No. Sticking to the rules.
Got to, ain't you?
2 metre distance.
Just me and the little ones.
Have you been out, John? You don't look like you've been out today.
No,
I've been out
I feel
today.
like you'd have more energy if you had.
Yeah,
no,
you need some fresh air.
I didn't go out yesterday, I'll be honest with you. I didn't go out yesterday, but
we're getting to the crux of the issue now.
Yeah, I've been out today.
Has he got a delay on him, Johnny?
Yes.
What?
His body's just working at the same speed as his mind for a change.
Am I delayed? You fucking wankers. Stop fucking about.
He's not happy.
Dicks.
By the way, there is a fourth party in this conversation, by the way. If you can see a bit of free advertising from
Pasty Media, bottom right. Let's have a look at you, Matty.
Where is it?
Let's have a look at you, Matty.
He'll be doing his barn as we speak.
He's been on the drink, I think, and all today, hasn't he? Come on, mate, let's have a look at you. Okay. For anybody who ever wondered who the fourth cog of our wheel were, he's just about to pop up in a minute. I hope he pops up naked, I really do.
He'll be playing FIFA.
I've had you on mute, like.
Hey?
I've been spectating. I've had you on mute.
Can you get your face on, Matty?
I'm having a bash here, although I've been tidying my bedroom while you're on my floor.
You're having a bash, and we don't want to watch you having a bash, love.
The host just stopped me having video, apparently. No, isn't it?
Get back to your game of FIFA, mate.
Hey, what an absolute little arsehole he is. What an arsehole he is.
I'm trying to turn it back on. Hold on, I'm trying.
I knew his attention wasn't with us.
What an arsehole that is there.
Block.
What else is happening?
There we go. I've done it.
Yeah, that means I've got to get down on the floor again here.
Let's have a look at him. Here he is. Drum roll, please.
Hey,
There he is. Right. You can have one of them from me.
Great.
Say hello to the Patreons, Matty.
Cheers, chaps. See you later.
Right.
Back on mute.
Oh dear.
It's not making a cut.
It is.
It's got to. So there's obviously no football to talk about, is there?
No, nothing whatsoever.
Has there been any more? Has there been any more word on what's going to happen with the season or anything?
I'll be honest. People should just forget about football at the minute. I know.
Oh yeah.
We love football and all that, but Jesus, it's doing my head in.
There's bigger fish to fry. I tell you what is really doing my head in. To be fair, what I've read today, that staff at Premier League football clubs are having to take a pay cut, right? And the players are still getting full money.
Yeah, some clubs have.
I know. I've always been a mercenary, right? But come on, play the game. You know what I mean? If you're on 100 grand, mate, surely you can. 100 grand a week. Surely you can defer a month's money in two, can't you, to pay the staff at the club?
Eddie Howe's giving up 4 million, I think.
Yeah, he's
good man. Well played, Eddie.
Voluntary.
I don't know if he's given up 4 million, has he? I think that's what he's on. I think that he's given up his wages until. I don't think he said actually given up 4 million, but yeah, fucking fair play, Eddie. I hope to stay up now.
I thought he'd gone down to the ground with it in cases.
No, yeah, like Ocean's 11 walking into Bournemouth ground.
4 mil there, Julie. Counting out for the lads.
Johnny, I want to say it here. Talking about players and fans falling out, was there a lad at York who offered a fan out via social media for a scrap?
Oh yeah, there were. I don't know if I want to. I can't mention. I think he might have even mentioned meeting a field.
Yeah, it was multiple locations, like football grounds, parks. Bring tools, he said. Bring tools. Anything goes. No holds barred.
And your dinner.
I like it.
I'm not really getting involved in this conversation.
Oh, are you privy? Were it you?
To be fair, no. No. To be fair, he got absolutely battered. Like lads were fetching fake knives in and stuff, like kids' knives and stuff, and hammers and axes and stuff like that.
He did say bring tools, didn't he? Tools are a go-go.
Tool, yeah. If we all fetch tools, we're all good to go. So I don't know if he just needed his car fixing or what, or
just have a fair fight, lads. John, every so often I just keep thinking you froze.
No, I don't know. I don't know which way to look with my eyes. I don't know where to look. I'll be honest with you. I'm like,
the rumour mill anyway is that there's a quiz going down on Saturday.
Yes.
We're having an under the cosh quiz.
I'm going to be host.
Live on YouTube.
Yes.
You're not being the host.
I'm doing the quiz. I want to be the quiz master, please. I've just done one tonight. To be fair, we've just done one with the Forest Green chief exec. We've just raised 360 quid. To be fair,
you may as well have the night off then. We'll just have the night off. We'll just have the night off. Let you crack on.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm the ringmaster around here.
I'll do quiz if you want. No bother at all. I'm not doing the questions, but I'll do the talking.
Take the glory again, yeah.
You know when you don't want to go into the supermarket and you've got to get 80 pence from petrol garage because you're not having to queue to get in.
So we've got a live quiz Saturday night, 7:45 to 8 o'clock, live on YouTube. Yeah. Get yourself down. How
many participants?
As many as want to join.
Is there no limit?
We've got a 2,000 limit. So, right. But if you fancy it, we've got the quiz going live on YouTube. We've got a prize as well for the winner.
I've got a feeling there could be problems, me, because if he's doing the quiz questions with his research, right, there's a good chance that there's going to be uproaring with answers and all sorts in there. People are going to be, no, it's not that. It's not that at all.
If you're reading the questions, how long is it going to be till your sound cuts out and then your face disappears? Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't. Bloody hell, fucking bastard.
I'm on the ball with this game now, mate.
Betsy, honestly. Get down.
I'm like, she came in for a bit, to be fair. I'm like Spielberg now with this, mate, honestly. Once then I've got to the bottom of it, there's no stopping me. I'm going to be filming all sorts now.
So yeah, get yourself over for the quiz on Saturday night, YouTube live. Just get on over to the channel and we'll have it on the Twitter and everything. Should be a good crack. Pub quiz.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Pub quiz.
A few beers.
Why not? There's not much else to do, is there? Exactly. Probably better off, actually, if we're starting off at 7:45 Saturday night, it's probably just as well I'm not doing questions.
Should we get Tonge in then?
Yeah, why not? Michael
Tonge.
How are you doing?
Good.
Hello, mate. Thanks for coming on.
No problem at all.
We're a 9-iron from your house here, would you say? Strong 9-iron.
For you, maybe, yeah. Might need something a little bit bigger. But yeah,
drop it down to a 7.
Very close. You've made it easy for me. Very easy.
We've got to get some clarification straight off the bat about Warrnocks' bottom care that we were told by Kilgallen.
Because I was adamant that there must be arms and legs to a lot of stories that get told on here.
A bit of VAT.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, I did hear Killer's one that he came on here and did, and yeah, definitely did used to do that. Like I was saying, I'm not sure if it was Sudocrem or Savlon, but I don't think that really matters.
I don't think that what actual product it were makes a difference. You just
Still weren't great to look at either way.
Oh dear. Did he have pile problems? Must have been.
I think it must have been, yeah.
Because I'm sure Brownie said it was put the pile cream as well.
Yeah.
Double layer?
He might be right there.
1 week pile cream, next rotation.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's fucking outrageous, isn't it? It really is.
Completely starkers. Just a good scoop.
Yeah. He just used to get, for some reason, used to be changed a lot quicker than everyone else. Flying out the shower and leg up and apply the cream straight on.
Did the lads speak about it?
Yeah, all the time. But obviously, nobody ever said anything to the gaffer, so I couldn't confirm if it was pile cream or not. But we used to talk about it all the time.
It must be like you know when a new signings come in, who's not seen it. It must be like
That's
watch
exactly
his
right.
face, watch his reaction. when he's doing it.
Yeah, I always used to get dropped in. Just keep an eye on that after the game. Definitely.
We've spoke a lot about that Sheffield United time, haven't we? Got a few players on in the Warnock era.
Yeah.
Were you there with the documentary? Was going
Yes. Yeah, I was. I can't remember which year it was when we did it, but it was a bit weird at first because nobody really knew what was going on with it. Because he started following us around in pre-season, and it was a bit, as a player, it was a bit annoying actually, because you were trying to concentrate on the game and someone's trying to usher past you with a camera, but you just got used to it after a bit. They didn't come to all the games, they sort of selected certain times where they'd come and watch and stuff. But
did they come to training as well?
Sometimes, yeah, but it weren't 24/7 following everyone around day in day out. They'd just sort of pick bits what they wanted, and we had a few trips away and stuff. But yeah, I was on it.
Do you think you had more trips away because of the documentary? Or would you have?
Well, I'm not talking to Dubai or anything. I'm talking Scarborough. But we had a trip down to Scarborough. We did a few daft things there. In fact, come to think of it, I think I ended up in the sea there.
In Scarborough?
Yeah. I've forgotten about that actually. We went down to the beachfront, and the gaffer said, right, everyone get a stone. So thinking, right, what's going on here? So we had a skimming competition, and there was 3 different things. Skimming competition, you had to write down the name of the lad you disliked the most in the team. He had to go in.
When we got the most votes?
Just write it down so it was completely anonymous.
Anonymous, and then he'd get them in.
Like it.
And to be honest, I can't remember what the third one was, but I lost the skimming competition, just to clarify.
I was going to say, he doesn't like you.
And then Paddy went in, and Danny Cadamarteri, but I don't know why Paddy went in. I think Cad's got the. But it weren't because people really disliked him. It was just because he was so lively. I think he just used to get a few people
well
at times, yeah. But he was a nice.
So it was whoever got the most votes went in.
Yeah. And it was, believe me, it wasn't summer. It was the middle of winter when we went in there.
What was up with you skimming? Why didn't you just?
Don't know. Fancied myself on that. I think the waves. You needed a decent stone.
Bad conditions.
Oh, it's all on the stone.
Yeah. And I got nervous at the end and just ended up going in. But yeah, no, we had that year. We didn't actually have a great year that year when they were doing the documentary, which was unfortunate because a couple either side we had some really good seasons, which would have been better coverage really. But yeah,
I seen someone that asking whether Warnock played up to the cameras.
You turn it up a notch.
Yeah, I think he did a little bit.
2 scoops.
Yeah. I think he might have done a little bit because he always used to come out with something. Although he did always used to come out with sort of bizarre stuff generally anyway. So if you'd been with him for a period of time, you'd probably think, well, it was sort of within character. But yeah, a couple of times I thought he's gone more over the top then than he normally would.
One of my favourite bits is when he was going around shaking everybody's hand. I think you've spoke about it before, and he gets to Morgs.
Oh yeah.
What shit on my hand, gaffer?
I ain't fucking bother then.
Yeah. No, it was. He was good. But that season, we weren't great. But I weren't a massive fan of it, to be honest. It's funny looking back now, but when you're trying to play, it was just a bit annoying, to be honest.
Well, the first one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they're all doing them now, but they're like,
I know.
there all the time in training and that. Imagine that. Getting in the treatment room and...
Yeah, because every club's got its own TV now, hasn't it? SU TV. And
Amazon. Did they do one for Tottenham? Or are they doing one for Tottenham at the minute?
Well, I've seen the City one, which is obviously a big one, and then Leeds have done one, haven't they?
Sunderland.
Yeah, Sunderland.
Oh, Sunderland. Oh, yeah. I've not seen that one. I've not seen the Leeds one either, but
Imagine them in our dressing room.
No, they won't last. They won't last long, would they?
Jesus.
Yeah. You know, if somebody's got a big camera on the thing like that, and you pull the trousers down, they're fucked out. You know what I mean? They're not getting back up for a good 10 minutes.
We had Andy Johnson on last week.
yes.
Were you playing in the game?
Yes, I was playing in that game, yeah.
Did you play in both then? When he got sent off?
No, not when Andy...
Did he get sent off? Miles off it here.
No, he didn't get sent off.
He thingied him though, didn't he?
Yeah, he clattered him, didn't he?
Yeah, he broke Lauren De Jaffo's cheek, I think.
Yeah.
Cheekbone. And he was raging about that.
What is it about? Santos?
No, he broke De Jaffo's.
Oh, so Santos weren't even the
No, it was Santos that got him
recipient?
back, yeah.
Ah, that's a fucking twist.
Yeah.
The plot thickens.
Oh, no, sorry, I've got that completely. It was Santos. It was Santos, sorry.
What's he doing?
No, I'm just... What's got me there is that when... at some point, I don't know why, I don't even know if Andy Johnson knows this, I know that De Jaffo went to the West Brom training ground looking for him.
To get him?
Yeah, that's why I've just got mixed up. Because George obviously really was in a bad way with that cheekbone. I can't even remember. I can't remember the challenge where he elbowed him, but I can remember it happening. I can remember Lauren was raging about it, and I can remember he went to the training ground. I don't think he went with George.
He doesn't know that.
Yeah. I can remember that.
Andy Johnson doesn't know. So he's gone to the training ground just to try and find him.
Yeah.
And he's like risking obviously the rest of the lads been there.
Yeah.
The rest of the West Brom lads.
Yeah.
He was a big unit, wasn't he?
De Jaffo. Yeah. He was a French guy, but he was a bit of a nutter.
You didn't need two props.
You know, he's one of them. If you lit his spark, you just lose it. And George was really good mates with George. And then
So he's fucking gone to the training ground to find him.
Andy Johnson said that Warnock was putting him on just for the revenge attack.
Oh, did he? Well, to be fair, I came off.
Luckily,
I came off for George in that game because obviously the game started, and I think Simon Tracy, our keeper, got sent off.
It's more of a tag team than a substitution.
Yeah, it was
tag him in.
It was a mental game. He got sent off, and then they went 1-0 up, I think, and then I think they scored again, and I can't remember whether it was 2 or 3-0 at the time. But obviously we were down to 10 men, and then I came off for George, and someone else came off as well for Sufo, and then literally I sat down on the bench, turned round, and George and Sufo were coming jogging back off again. And I thought, what's going on here? Because literally it was that quick. I come off, and I can't remember who the player was. It might have been Derek McInnes.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely killed him. He's given him a short free kick and put it right in between them. And George has obviously just come in and literally... So
that was like 10 seconds after coming on?
Yeah, it was instant. It was straight away. Because I didn't even... I was getting my jacket on, and I missed like the skirmish and that, and then I thought, what's happened? And then George was off. Sufo headbutted someone. He come straight off again. And then we were obviously down to what? 8. And then we were playing on. And then I think... can't remember who came off next, whether it was Brownie or Rob Ullathorne. I think it was Rob Ullathorne. He got injured, so then we were down to 7. But then it got a bit daft because
I think Brownie was...
Had it not been daft already?
Well, yeah.
Brownie was the last injury.
Yeah.
He said, didn't he?
Because they were saying he chucked one in.
Yeah.
But it was because obviously we were down to 7 players then. Keith Kerr was playing, and he was kicking absolute lumps out of everyone because he knew that the ref wasn't going to send him off because he'd have to abandon the game. When you go below 7, you can't play on. And he was kicking the shit out of anyone that came near
trying
him.
to get sent off like?
Yeah, he was obviously just thinking, right, well, we're going to lose this. It's 3-0. There's what? We've only got 7 men. They had the ball all the time. And then Brownie, I think he did actually have an hernia problem.
Yeah.
He did have a hernia problem. And he came off. And obviously, I didn't actually at the time realise the rules where that was the case, because I was thinking Curly's going to get sent off in a minute. But the ref was just, and then somebody told me. And then obviously he come off. We never ended up replaying the game back. And just remember Gary Megson was going mental on the touchline because he was having a go at the gaffer, because I think them two don't get on anyway. They always had a running feud for years whenever we used to come up against his team, whether it be West Brom or someone else. And Brownie came off, and then I can just remember thinking, what's going to happen now? But obviously they did the right thing. They were winning 3-0. We were never going to get back into the game, but yeah, George really he was lucky, Andy Johnson, that he jumped, because he could have probably ended his career there, because George was literally, he went right in at his knee.
Did you know when you were coming off that it's going to go now?
I thought he's definitely going to try and do something to him, because it was really built up, because George had been out injured for a while, and I think he might, I don't even know that was the first game back for him or something like that. But yeah, he literally come on and just took him straight out.
His eyes must have lit up.
I just can't believe Derek McInnes.
I know, it's his fault, isn't it? The short free kick.
Yeah. He put him right in it. It was a bad day, that, to be honest. I think after the game, if I'm being honest, the gaffer, Neil Warrnocks, he sort of thought, oh no, I don't need this.
Just embarrassed.
Gone a bit too far.
Yeah, it weren't necessarily his fault. He was probably thinking, should I put George on or not? But
well, we've heard that Warnock put him on, saying you were getting released at the end of the season.
All right, okay.
So
go and do your worst.
Opportunity.
Yeah, but it wasn't sort of like late on in the game when he come on. There was still like at least half an hour left. So
give him a good chance then, hasn't he?
I don't think when Warnock put him on, he was actually thinking he'd do it that quickly.
Yeah, not in the first.
Give us 15 at least.
Not in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Did Warnock give you your first opportunity first team?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think it was the end of my second year YTS. Started training with the first team a bit and went to a few games, and I was on the bench a few times, and then it was the last game actually of that season. We played Bolton away, and I didn't know I was playing. I mean, that's sort of little thing that he would do. He never said anything to me about it, and then we sort of got in the changing room, and he's reading the team out, and I weren't really listening for the team. I was sort of listening, was I on the bench? And then he didn't say it, and I thought, oh no, I'm not even involved today. And then one of the coaches come up to me and went, all the best. And I was thinking, what's he on about? And then he was like, you're starting? And I was like, oh, no way. And I think he'd just done that just to sort of...
No nerves.
To take it away from me.
Less time to worry about.
Yeah, but we had quite a young team playing that day anyway, but Bolton were a good side at the time, because that was the year they went up to Premier League. They went up in the playoffs. But it was a good day, because obviously Bolton's not far from here, and I'm from around this sort of area.
Were your mum and dad and that at the game anyway, or
yeah,
a quick phone call with?
No, they were. Fortunately, because obviously it was Bolton, it was close. It's only 15 minutes, so they came to the game anyway. But it was a good day. It was quite strange actually, because when you first start playing, the atmosphere, you're a bit like flipping it. When the other team scores, it felt like really loud. That's the one thing I can remember most.
What year was that then?
2001. Yeah, 2001. They went up. I'm sure that they went up 2001.
Talking to someone like that, I can't remember which club I was at, but they were giving a young lad his debut. I think he was a young Irish lad, and the club got in touch with his parents.
Right.
Organised for his parents and all his family to come over. The lad didn't know he was playing. He'd done exactly the same as what he did with you, but all his family were there, and he only found out he's playing an hour before kick-off. But luckily flew all his family over, and I think we got beat 5-0, but
and he had a shizzer.
A straight red.
They didn't fly him back over.
It was a good idea, to be fair, because I definitely would have been nervous, waiting for the game to come round.
I don't think you're prepared. I don't. You know, if you don't think you're playing, you don't prepare the same as when you do.
I think what it was though, because I was only 18, I was in the sort of the zone of just
doing everything right.
Yeah,
anyway.
I weren't used to preparing any other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how did, going a bit further back then, so how did you end up at Sheffield United, obviously living around here in Manchester way?
Well, I was at Man United, and then I was released by them at 16, and then funnily enough, Steve Bruce took me over there because I was at United, and after they were very good after I got released, they still let you come and train, and you'd play like games, and they'd let scouts would come and watch to see, you know, if they fancied taking anyone. And Alex Bruce was at United at the time, so Paul McGuinness, a coach who worked there, spoke to Steve Bruce and sort of said, look, we're letting him go, but we still think he's worth having a look at.
Punt on.
Yeah, and obviously Sheffield United were, I don't know if it was the Championship or First Division at the time, I can't remember, but so Steve Bruce spoke to the youth team manager, Steve Miles, and Russell Slade, and I went across and played a couple of trial games, and then I signed from there. And Steve Bruce was the manager of Sheffield United at the time. Unfortunately, he actually left that summer. I think he was Birmingham or Palace, and Adrian Heath became the manager. But that's how I ended up over at Sheffield.
You forget how many jobs he's had, don't you, Bruce?
Yeah.
It's been about 10.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
He's always done all right though as well.
Yeah, very good manager.
But we just talked about Russell Slade, because me and Party met up with him last week, and he seems like a lovely fella, doesn't he? And I'm sure he obviously is a lovely fella. But am I digging myself a hole here, lad? Or what?
He seems like a lovely fella, but you're going to tell us he's an arsehole, aren't you?
Yeah. You're going to tell us you were shit scared of him.
Yeah, no, like I said earlier, I think when I've come across players who've had him as a manager, I've always said, what was Russ like? Was he a bit of a nutter? And they'd be like, no, he was all right, really calm and that. And I was thinking, are we talking about the same guy? Because literally all the youth team were terrified of him. He's quite a big bloke as it is, and he was quite like commanding, and when he lost it, he lost it, and the lads were always really wary of him. But when I got there, he moved up to first team coach with Adrian Heath assisting him, so I didn't really feel the wrath of him too many times. But
do you think that's just because you were young yourselves, and it's just a different environment,
an imposing character when you're a young lad?
Yeah, and I think everybody in their youth team always had someone or a coach who you think, I don't want to piss him off.
I think that was part of the job.
Yeah.
That was part of the remit, if there could be a nasty bastard or not.
Yeah.
To keep you on your toes, like, you never sort of, like, nobody would, if he was about, nobody was messing about, if you know what I mean? If he was wandering around, because he used to come back down, because when we was in the youth team, we got changed at Bramhall Lane, and then we'd get the minibus up to the training ground. So the first team just got changed up at the training ground. So obviously we didn't always see him, but then if he did come round, everyone would be thinking, oh no, because normally if we used to play like pre-season Ilkeston, who were from Nottingham, and Russ was from Nottingham, or he was living there at the time, and he obviously had quite a few links with Ilkeston. I think he used to set the game up, and like if they beat you, all anyone was thinking is he's going to come down here. He's going to come down, and then the other manager would come in and just suit it up, and he'd come in and he'd say like, right, 2:00, everyone in here, Rusty's coming down, and everyone would be like, oh shit, and he usually did come in and lose it. So it's a disgrace getting beat to them. I've got to go in and have a pint with them on Friday, and it's embarrassing.
Just beat my youth team.
Yeah, but I like Russ. He's a really good guy.
Somebody asked about getting boot polish up your arse or something. It could be a wind up, or it could be a hoax.
Warnock weren't applying it, were he?
So swap the pots.
Yeah, I hope not. Jesus.
Oh yeah, mate. Oh.
I'm going to give you a new deal, but you need to have this shoe polish.
No, I think like in most youth teams, there was a few things that used to go on, didn't there? But I can't remember any boot polish up the arse. Maybe in the eye, in the ear, something like that. But no, it was a good setup there, and youth team guys were really good. It was a really good time.
Was Jagielka your age then? Did he come through with you?
He did come through with me. Jags was the year above, so when I went there as a first year, he was a second year, and Nick Montgomery was a second year as well. they had quite a strong team, to be honest, and we had quite a lot of good players. And it was a bit of a fortunate time where, for young lads at Sheffield United then, to be, if you could make it or you were a decent player, you would get an opportunity, because when Neil Warrnocks came in, the club was in sort of a position where they were sort of bottom half of the table and it all needed refreshing, and he was trying to get players out that had been there for a few years, and it was just, he couldn't lose really by putting young lads in. But I don't think that was necessarily why he did it, because he's done that different clubs as he's gone along. I can remember he'd done it when I was at Leeds as well, but he gave me, Monty, Jags, Colin, and quite a number of players an opportunity, to play in the first team, and it was really good. And obviously that's what you need, and hopefully you just try and take your chance and do well.
So who were the ones that you were trying to get at then? Sort of Mitch Ward, Paul Beasley, that era?
No, they were a bit before that.
Right.
I'm trying to think who they had in there. It weren't even necessarily trying to get them out. It was just quite an ageing team. Trace in goal, he was quite old at the time. Lee Sanford. He brought Curly in, to be fair, to play for a little bit, and then he became first team coach. Who else did he have in there? Well, he brought Brownie in. He had DeJaffo. He had him there. He was quite an ageing player. George Santos, like we were discussing earlier.
Seems a big, angry team, that.
Yeah. Big old units in it, isn't there?
There's quite a few brutes in there. And
obviously Brownie loves a tackle, doesn't he?
Yeah, Brownie came in.
Do you fit in all right in that dressing room with all the brutes?
It's like anything, isn't it? When you go into a dressing room and you're a young lad, you're always a bit nervous. I used to actually do the teas at half time at the first team, because I always used to like to go in, just to see what was said, and and it was good to see, how the first team players sort of, how it was at half time, what have you, because sometimes in your head you're thinking, everyone's flying around, it's going off, and it didn't really. Lads were like, in them days, sort of lads were drinking like cups of tea and coffee at half time, and obviously they don't do it now, but it was good.
Nervous about the right number of sugars?
No, the lads, to be honest, the majority of the lads were alright. There's a few grumpy ones. Trace, he was grumpy, the keeper. He was actually my first roommate, come to think of it.
Was he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, they put you at deep end there, aren't they?
Yeah, because nobody wanted to go with him. Yeah. And he was like the only keeper, because he didn't used to have a keeper on the bench, so nobody used to want a room with him.
So did you not even use to take a keeper to a away game just in case he fell down the stairs or got sick or?
No, he did, but even he didn't want a room with him. But no, Tracy actually, I've seen him recently. He's a really nice chap. I think he just used to moan a lot. So,
just to get himself through it.
Yeah, he just used to always have me running the bath all the time for him, because he's a keeper and he was getting a bit older. I think he'd have one in the morning, Saturday morning, to sort of loosen himself off before the game.
Running the bath. You get him a run bath.
Sedgy.
Running bath.
If I used to
Why can't you not run your own bath?
Well, if I beat him in the wrestle, whoever won the wrestle got to fucking look after the other one.
Baths and teas.
Bath, tea, order the snacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, a few lads have mentioned Warnock. Like one of them was if he didn't want to play in the reserves.
Right, yeah.
He used to just.
I think
shift him a few quid.
I think he did it.
We've paid that insurance, by the way, haven't we?
Yeah,
we've paid that. Yeah, well, you tell as much as you want.
He doesn't listen to this, man. He'll never find out.
No, I think the only one I can remember was Rob Kozluck, and the reserves were playing. It was a trek. It was someone like Darlington.
Tuesday night.
On a Tuesday night. And I can remember the gaffer being in the pavilion, and he's on the bike, just going round, and because everyone there in the gym bit, it was quite tight and enclosed, and Cozzy was thinking, and the gaffer went, "You're right for 60 minutes tomorrow night, aren't you?" Cozzy, and he was like, "Do you know Cozzy?"
Not really.
Well, he's quite chirpy anyway, so he was like, "Don't really fancy that gaffer." He went, what about if I give you 50 quid, do I have to go? And he went, not a problem, son. Leave it on my desk. So he never made it. But it was I think you'll probably say the same. When back then, not that I'm saying it's a million years ago, but it was probably a lot more intimidating going into the first team dressing room and changing room than what it probably is for lads now. Because when I first started, like, I was going in there and there was a couple of lads, younger lads, that made it easy, but the majority of the lads were sort of 30ish or just over, and everyone's sort of, you know, lads are like in footy anyway, trying to take the piss all the time. Because in fact I had an absolute nightmare when I first went into the team, because I forgot to tell you this actually. It wasn't the year I made my debut, it was the year after. And I wasn't playing at the time, but I was on the bench. And we played your lot, Barnsley. And this is how long ago, it was on Setanta Sports.
Was this at home?
Yeah.
Did we win 2-1?
No, it was a draw. I can remember it very well because the game was being televised. It was on Setanta or whatever. It was a Friday night. And we had our Christmas do. It was around Christmas time, obviously, on the Saturday. So Friday night game, we've got there. I'm on the bench. Did everything as normal, and then second half, I can't even remember who it was. Somebody went down injured, a midfield player. So I'm thinking, right, I might go on here. Warrnocks turned around. He's gone, Tonge, come on, get ready. I thought, all right, brilliant. Pads are on, ready to go. Strode up out the dugout, marching towards the side, took my top off. Didn't have my shirt on.
You still got your training t-shirt on?
Still got my training t-shirt on. And I thought, literally, the gaffers looked at me, the game stopped.
Is the fourth ready with the ball?
Fourth's there, and the gaffer's gone, where's your fucking shirt? And I've gone, like, panicked, like you wouldn't believe. And the ref's going, is he coming on? Is he coming on? And Warrnocks going, fucking hell, get back there. Anyway, my shirt, I didn't leave it in the dugout, it was in the changing room. So I've had to sort of react. I've sprinted down. The game's carried on.
At Upwell?
No, it was at Bramwell Lane, luckily. I've sprinted down. The game's carried on. One of our lads has come off, so we're down to 10 men. I've sprinted down. Luckily, thank God, the changing room were open. My shirt's just there in my spot. Because what I'd done is, at half-time, I had my shirt with me in the first half, but I'd gone in, used the toilet or whatever, and I just put my shirt in my place, and I just forgot to pick it back up. Sprinted back in. I'm talking to myself like, you're screwed in. I'm fucked. I've sprinted back out, shirt on. The ball literally just did not go out of play for, it felt like an eternity. And the gaffer was going, you better hope they don't fucking score.
I was just thinking that.
And I'm thinking, and eventually I finally got on, and I sort of forgot about it, finished the game. And then he never mentioned it after the game. But obviously we had the Christmas do, and it was a Saturday and a Sunday. So we weren't going out the Friday night, we were going out the Saturday night and the Sunday. So I've gone to the Christmas do, and obviously I'm the young lad. So the lads are like winding me up like you wouldn't believe. So I've spent all day Saturday, all day Sunday. We had the Monday off. I've gone it, and it was the longest 3 days of my life. I was bricking myself.
Are they going to, you're going to get fucking pelters when we get back in?
He's not going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking he's going to sack me. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And then literally we went in on the Tuesday, done a training session, and he was there, and he just didn't mention it. And I was thinking,
Got away with this.
I got away with this. And literally I got changed, and I was just, we trained at the ground for some reason, I don't know why. And I was just walking out, and I just said, Tonge. And I thought, oh fuck, he's remembered. He pulled me in to the home team dressing room, literally just me and him. I've sat down, and he's come and sat right next to me, really close. I'm thinking,
fully clothed.
Fully clothed, thankfully. No Savlon about. And he's gone, really calmly, he's gone, I was going to do you 2 weeks. And I went, right. And I'm thinking, fair enough, I'll take that. And then he just sat there, and he just didn't say anything for ages, but he was just staring at me. And I was thinking, do I say something? Do I not? And he's just gone, but Sharon's talked me out of it. His missus, and she went.
Fair play.
Nice one, Sharon.
Sharon's talked me out of it. She said, "Give him a break. He's only 18." And I thought, thank God for that. So I owe one for that.
I think I've been sending some flowers. Cheers, Sharon.
And then I've literally got up to walk out, and he's just gone, "Don't ever fucking do that again." And then that was I thought I've got away with one there massively.
Yeah, he's done well for you there. Right?
Yeah, Sharon's done well for me there.
Great, happened the other day.
Great
Did you see the
teamwork,
Chelsea game.
Yeah, that's what reminded me of it. Actually, was it the Everton guy who he only had one sock on? That's one I saw.
Oh no, it was when Kante came off after about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And Mason Mount wasn't ready, and they were doing the nut on the side.
really.
Jody Morris and Lampard, and I think Gary Neville got involved on the commentary.
Did he?
Oh, you've only got one job as a sub, just to be ready to come on. And he was taking ages to get ready. Again, the game was going on.
Yeah,
I'm thinking if they score here, he's fucked.
I was just to put my shirt on, I think, and just have it on underneath me jumper.
I did.
After that?
Not once have I ever not worn my shirt. I was wearing it in the warm up
On the court.
I'm not ever having getting that situation again.
I don't think Sharon can get me out of it again.
No.
I've had me one chance with it.
Yeah,
Did you play a lot that year? That 2002, 2003? Was that the playoff year?
Yeah, that was. So I made my debut end of 2001. Then sort of played the majority of 2001 to 2, and then 2002, 2003. Yeah, I played all season there.
Yeah.
We had a fantastic year.
Because was that the year that Windass didn't make the final? He left him out.
Yeah. Dean Windass. Yeah, we took him. I think we took him on loan from Middlesbrough. I don't think we signed him. I can't remember. But he was a good player, very good player, and he did really well for us, to be fair. And then I don't even know what happened. I think he brought him off in the second leg of the semi against Forest. And then I don't know whether they had a conversation after that, but he literally didn't. He just weren't involved in the final. I just don't know why.
I think I saw a comment. Did you go away before it? And did he shit in the 18th cup?
That's the reason that I was looking for.
Right, yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, that was. We went to the. we went to the Belfry for a few days before. I think it was before the final, but I don't think that was the reason why he didn't involve him.
But did he shit in the 18th cup?
Yeah.
To be fair, it's good cracking because everybody's got to put the ball in it, haven't they? You know what I mean?
Is it good crack?
It's definitely Dino crack. Right.
Yeah. No, he was a big character actually when he come in. Very confident, but he sounds, obviously, no disrespect to him, he sounds a bit dopey and thick with his accent and what have you, but when it comes to football, he was very sort of.
Oh, he's definitely 100% dopey.
Very intelligent footballer.
100% dopey off the pitch.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
But what was the year when he played Arsenal and Seaman made that save?
Was the year. Was
that the semi-final or something?
That was the semi-final of the FA Cup. Yeah, we played them at Old Trafford. We actually did really well in the game. I can't remember who scored for them.
Fuck knows.
It was Lundberg or Jeff or someone like that. But yeah, we played them at Old Trafford. It was a really good, really hot day. They had a really good team. They had I think Campbell, Seaman, Campbell, Vieira, Henry played. They had a star-studded, but they went 1-0 up, and then it was just one of those. I don't know whether or not they got into that zone where they thought we'll win this 1-0, and then obviously you're always in with a chance at 1-0, and then I think we had I don't even know, I might even have took the corner. Somebody's headed it off the corner, and it's come to Pesh, and even to this day he probably doesn't realise how he didn't score. It was one of them. He's gone to head it, and it's sort of he's missed it. It's hit his shoulder. I still thought it was in, but Seaman's made a unbelievable save.
Clawed it with his ponytail there.
Yeah. And then,
out of nowhere it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Would that have been to make it 1-1 then?
Yeah, that would have been to make it 1-1. But there was a bit of controversy actually in the game, come to think of it, because Graham Poll was reffing it, and I can remember the gaffer just going ape after the game at him because, again, it was me actually in the build-up to their goal. the ball's come loose in midfield, and I've gone to get it, and he's blocked me. Obviously, unintentionally.
The ref has?
Yeah, he's took me out and blocked me. I would have just got the ball and gone forward. Anyway, the result in that move was them to score. So I remember him just going mad, because he always used to be going mental at the referee.
I think I was just pretty much par foot course with him.
But if you give him a reason like that, he was really hanging on to that. Yeah, we got to the semi-final of the FA Cup, semi-final of the League Cup, and the playoff final.
Did you score in the semi then? The League Cup one?
Yes, yeah. Scored against Liverpool in the home leg. We won 2-1, and then they beat us in the second leg 2-0, I think, at Anfield.
Were you linked with going to Liverpool?
Yeah, I was actually, for a period. Gerard Houllier was the manager, and I think they were just, like a lot of teams do, they just sort of monitor players, and I think
young lads that are doing well.
Yeah, pretty much, and I think obviously I must have been on their sort of radar, but unfortunately for me, I think he got the tic-tac not too long after, so... But they were a good side. They had, we beat them in the first game at Bramall Lane, but then second game, I think Michael Owen scored the second goal. I can't remember who scored the first, but yeah, that was a bit of an eye-opener, because the atmosphere there was really intense and they were really at it, you know what I mean? But we still
incredible season, really, then, weren't it? If you get to the Championship team, get into both semi-finals of the Cups and then the playoff final as well.
Yeah, it was probably one game too far, the final.
Was that Wolves?
Yeah, we'd had that season we'd had so many games where we'd be losing in the last 5 minutes 1-0, and then we'd come back and win. It was ridiculous. I don't think we never had a season like that again, and I think you only ever have one like that. But once you do that a couple of times, you sort of had that belief that it would happen. And even going into we'd done it again in the semi-final against Forest. We were, I think, 2-0 down, and we ended up coming back, and we were winning 4-2, and it ended up 4-3. So we were going into that Wolves game, and I don't think it was complacency, but I know that I just felt like we're going to win this, because we'd had such an unbelievable season. You just feel like it's just meant to be. But yeah, unfortunately on the day, it was Wolves' day. They'd been sort of flirting me going up for a couple of seasons, and they did really well and caught us on an off day. But even then, and he won't let me for reminding him, but Brownie missed a penalty in the final, and I think that was maybe 2-0. So even if that had gone in, I know for a fact we'd have been thinking we'll come back here.
Yeah.
But we didn't. They had a strong team. I think they had. Well, I was playing on the left against Dennis Irwin. He was there right back. Yeah. And they had. When I think back, they actually had a really good team. They had Irwin, Butler. Remember the big centre half? Paul Ince played.
Kennedy.
He scored. Colin Cameron. Steve Bull. Nathan Blake. Yeah, Kenny Miller, he played. Yeah, they had a really top team. Well, that was just unfortunate. But yeah, we had some really good times with Sheffield United, and there's loads of different stories where we went, with Neil Warrnocks. And
did he used to take you down to Cornwall?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gaff down Cornwall, ain't he?
Yeah, we used to go down there every pre-season, so we could have an extra week at home with his family. Charged us a tenner to get into the barbecue at his house.
He did what?
Pay for the food.
Collection pots at door.
Yeah, it was it. I mean, listen, he had a lovely setup there. He had a nice sort of farmhouse with some land, swimming pool, little golf thing set up, because we used to stay at like they were like a bit like chalets on a golf course. We used to stay there, so we'd go down there, we'd play a few teams, local teams that he'd obviously organised games for, and we wouldn't necessarily have a night out or anything in Cornwall, because to be honest, I don't think there's much going on. There's not much going on down there, but yeah, there's a few things where when we went down there, one of the young lads once woke up on the 18th and on his bed, and he weren't happy about that. Called crying, he was called an Irish lad. So
somebody had put his bed on the 18th
with him on.
With him in it?
Yeah.
Wasn't John, or was it?
How did they get it through a door with him on it?
I don't know, but we must have had a night out, maybe just to a pub or whatever. Colin obviously had a few too many, and they must have took the bed out and then put him on it. But obviously, as Warrnocks drove into the golf course the next day, he's looked to his right and Cole's asleep on his bed on the 18th. So he's come in and he has lost it. But I don't know if it was that year or another year we went down there, and do you know, obviously Noel Whelan, striker, he was with us, and same thing, we must have just gone up to the sort of clubhouse and had a few drinks or whatever, and he obviously got a bit out of hand, and then we've just obviously everyone just walks back down to the chalets, and I don't know why, but the boot skip was knocking around. And then he sort of, I think he had a bit of a to-do with Stuart McCall in the day over something, I don't know what it was, but anyway, he's come to the idea he'll set his boots on fire. So he set his boots on fire, nothing's been said, and then the next morning we've come down to go to training, and Macca's looking for his boots. He can't find them, and then everyone knew that they'd set these boots on fire, and he's found them, and he's just lost it. And he's not really like that type of character, Macca, but he's lost it, and everyone knew it was Snowy, as his nickname is. I know why, because he does settle quickly. But he set him on fire. Bear in mind, by the way, he's on trial. He's on trial.
No Whelan's on trial.
And Macca's assistant manager. But he was funny. Him, huh?
Boots up his smoke.
Yeah, they were just burnt. The laces were gone. They looked like a right mess. But he, and because Macca, he had like the widest feet you can think of. So these boots he had, they weren't like your sort of standard boots that you could just pick up anywhere. And that's why I think he was raging so much, and his inner soles were in there and the lot. But he didn't. He never got stitched up for it. I don't think they signed him. But,
I was going to say,
yeah. Considering he was on trial, he weren't too bothered.
I was say, you've got to keep your head down while you're just on. So you sign your contracts, haven't you?
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're the lad in the bed as well on the golf course, you're kind of feeling responsible. Like you're getting the brunt, aren't you?
I know.
Even if you're in the bed, and it's not really your fault.
Yeah, you haven't chose to do that, have you?
To be fair though, you must be in a pickle for someone to pick you up and walk you to the 18th green and in the middle of the night and nobody even noticed. Not even noticed.
I know, yeah. That's what I thought. How's he not woken up in the night and thought, what's going on here?
Imagine seeing that on your approach shot to the 18th. There's the flag. Well,
I know.
There's a king size
divan on the fucking 18 green.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
Oh, the thing is as well, he must have been like obviously living local. We're at his golf course as well. So
yeah, we used to go here every year. So obviously the members are raging about it. Because somebody, I don't even know if he'd got a phone call, as in something had happened, but definitely when he arrived, Cole was still asleep on the green.
That's one of my favourite stories.
Yeah. He got me out of that not having my shirt on anyway. Definitely.
So going back to that Sheffield, you mentioned Cozzy, Rob Coslow.
Yeah,
and we keep getting messages to get him on, don't we?
Yeah, you need to get him on.
It's a bit of a card, isn't he?
Yeah, he is funny.
What kind of card though? Because Jono was a wind-up merchant.
Lunatic card, weren't he?
Yeah, he'd be doing
the same ilk
pranks and stuff. And
he'd be doing pranks basically. He's just very, very quick, and he'd like. I'll give you an example. So we had a game and it was on TV, Bramall Lane, and obviously before the game the managers get interviewed, don't they? So for whatever reason, the interview wasn't in the corridor. It was at the side of the pitch, in front of the dugout, and it was pissing it down with rain. So literally the gaffer's on getting interviewed, and literally he's just done this off his back. Nobody even knew what was going on, and then the next thing you can just see him behind the gaffer, sprinting across the pitch, sliding on his belly, and it's that sort of thing that why he's just very quick at assessing the scenario, what's going on. But yeah, I used to do funny stuff all the time. I mean, I can't just come up with them just off the bat now, but you should try and get him on because he'd be.
Are we trying to get him on?
Guest.
That was yours. That was
my
yours.
job, was it?
Yeah, that was yours, cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a character. He's a character.
I remember that was some team, that though, man.
Yeah, no, we did. We had a real. The whole period of time when I was at Sheffield, we had so many players that sort of passed through.
Saunders wasn't there with you, was he?
No, but I heard a few stories about him. He was quite funny, from what I've heard, and I've obviously heard him on stuff since. I don't know if you've come across him and what have you, but the lads are the youth team. I think the year above me, sort of Jags' year, as we were saying earlier, they had him. He'd left just before I come, and I think he used to batter people all the time. And he was quick, I think.
Yeah,
the lads they always used to go on about some fan came flying up to him in the car park, something like that, after a game they'd got beat, and they always used to tell this story to everyone, the young lads, when they come in, and they'd be like, "Hey, Saunders, what the heck's that? I've paid 20 quid to come and watch that. I pay your wages," or whatever. And he was like, 20 grand a ticket, is it? And they always used to tell that story to everyone who joined the club. They always used to tell him
20 grand a ticket.
But yeah, I missed him. He was before my time at Sheffield. But yeah, it was a good period. We had a few laughs and stuff. Obviously the manager was really good. He was very gifted in sort of man management type situations. He didn't really necessarily take any coaching sessions. He'd just sort of watch. He'd take shape and what have you, but he was just very good at. He was very good at getting players to play to their strengths. He wouldn't really ask anybody to do anything that he knew they couldn't do. So like you get teams that are playing out from the back now. If he had a couple of lads at the back that weren't comfortable on the ball, he wouldn't try, and he wasn't sort of your modern day coach where, right, we're going to do it this way, so this is how we're going to do it. So he just used to take shape. He was very good at getting the best out of the lads that he had, and just assessing different situations where he'd know the right thing to say, when to go mad and when not to, because sometimes you'd expect, we've all had it, where you start the game in the first half and for whatever reason you just cannot get going, and you'd be thinking, the fans are on your back moaning, and you think, he's going to come in and go mental, and he'd come in and start laughing, and he'd go, how the fuck are we still in this? And you think, and then everyone just sort of calmed down, which was great. But he was quite actually very superstitious in some ways, and I was thinking, just sort of trying to jog my memory before I come on, like a few different things that we used to do. And in actual fact, I don't think it was the year of that documentary. It might have been the year before. But there was we were at Bramall Lane, we was playing at Bramall Lane, and we were just getting changed before the game. And I don't know why, but for some reason there was one of these, them like little disco balls that are like multicoloured and it lights the room up. And that was on the side. and I don't know why it was there. I'm sure he didn't. He didn't
bring it along for
do it on purpose. But for whatever reason, someone's lent on the lights in the changing room, so it's gone pitch black. And it might have been someone like Cozzy. He switched this disco ball on and started messing around, going, do come on and do the conga. And then literally, some of the lads started messing around doing the conga in the dark with this disco light on. Right, so anyway, not thought anything about it. We won the game. It's travelled to the next game. And I can remember actually really well, we actually played Sunderland away. You might even have been playing at Sunderland at the time. And literally, so we've come in from the warm-up, same scenario, just getting our pads on, and the gaffer's gone, right, Macca, knock them lights off. Get that disco ball on. And we're dancing around the medical bed in the middle of the changing room doing the conga.
Pre-match conga.
Yeah. And we must have done that for a good 4 or 5 games. until in the end he's like, fuck that, right. We're not winning.
That's not
now.
why we're winning.
We're not winning now. But yeah.
And I can't think for the life of me how the disco ball ended up in the dressing room originally.
I know. I don't know why it was in there.
I've been in quite a lot of dressing rooms. I've never seen a disco ball.
Yeah. I don't know whether they'd had some sort of event on at the ground and someone's brought it through, but this disco ball was in there. Whether the kit man brought it in, I don't know. Just one of them freak scenarios.
Kit man lining up gear before travelling.
Shorts, socks, disco ball.
Yeah. Get that on. Yeah, it went on for a good 4 or 5 games. That good 4 or 5 games. But,
that's some promotion team as well. Some big characters coming in. Akinbaye, Brian Dean.
Yeah, we had some real experienced players. Brian Dean.
Brian Dean coming from Leeds then?
Oh, I can't remember. He might have signed from Leicester, you know.
He was probably 35 plus at this point, I reckon.
No, he was about 38.
Was he?
Yeah, he was touching 40. I remember at the time thinking, how's he still playing? But he obviously came back, and he's a bit of a sort of messiah character at Bramall Lane anyway. So we had Brian Dean came back, signed Addy.
Yeah.
Bruce Dyer, we had him. Gary Flitcroft, he was there. They signed him in the January.
Keith Gillespie there as well.
Keith Gillespie was there, yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah. We also have Craig Short, Dave Unsworth. Dave Unsworth.
Jeff Horsfield.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Jeff Horsfield was there as well. We had just an abundance of strikers. Ships was there.
Yeah.
Cabba, Webber. There's so many strikers. But I think we started the season so well that we got to January and we were like in the top 2. And I think the gaffer just thought, right, I'm just going to make sure we're not short. But it was a little bit of a... This is why he was good, actually, because I think, actually, I listened to Ships' podcast on air, and he mentioned it. So Ships had played sort of the first half of the season, done really well. And then they brought Addy in. And Addy came in and did all right, but we weren't winning. And he brought Addy in, he brought Jeff Horsfield in, these other strikers, he brought Bruce in.
All similar players.
Yeah, and he was giving them a chance to play, but it just, for whatever reason, not necessarily even their fault, it just weren't working. And like, now thinking back, you'd get a lot of managers who would be like, no, I'm going to have egg on my face here, I can't change it, I'm just going to have to persist with these players. But he didn't. He just thought, right, I need to go back to what I was doing before. And he got Ships back in, and we just started playing again. And then we just kicked right on, and we ended up, getting promoted.
And all these big names sat on bench.
Yeah, but not even some of them on the bench.
Yeah, we had Jeff off, didn't he?
Yeah, Jeff weren't playing.
Do you think because he was such a legend of the club that he could get away with that from the board? Because a manager now would sign a player or 3 or 4 players.
Decent wages.
If 5 weeks later they're not in the team, then they're going to be getting questions from upstairs, like, well, we've just paid X for him, and 5 weeks later he's not fucking playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we might even have paid like £1 million for Addy when we signed him.
From Leicester?
No, from Burnley we signed him from. He was banging him in.
Leicester to Burnley?
Yeah, he was banging him in for Burnley. But yeah, I think the reason they let him do it and they weren't putting pressure on him was because we were in the top 2, and I think they were just, credit to him, were sort of looking at the bigger picture and just thought, I'm just going to let him get on with it. We had a little bit of a wobble, sort of, I think it was January, February time, but then we got into March, and we because Leeds were chasing us, and we had Leeds at home, second to last game of the season, and it was dead tight. And I can remember it was the Easter weekend where we eventually got promoted because they drew and we won, and then they couldn't catch us. But for a long time it was sort of, gearing up to being
coming down to that game.
Yeah.
Was Claude Davis there?
No, he signed when we went up. But that's actually, it's just come back to me now, actually, because at Christmas we were obviously flying, and Leeds were in 3rd, and we were a good gap away. So we beat someone away, and Kev Blackwell was the manager at Leeds, and obviously he'd worked closely with Neil Warrnocks, and then he left Sheffield United, and they didn't leave in sort of on bad terms, and we were quite clear of Leeds. So anyway, on the bus on the way back, Cozzy's text Blackie and said, "Oh, do you need directions to Wembley, Blackie?" And like literally, the gaffers found out about this. I don't know why, and he pulled Cozzy in because they started to catch us a little bit, saying, "You send one more fucking text to Black." The team again.
You need directions to web. That's brilliant, isn't it?
And so it did get a little bit tense, like it always does. But yeah, we had a good group of players, and I think. I'm just thinking back, like David Unsworth, he was really good. He played a lot of time that season. Craig Short was really good. Even like Gary Flitcroft, he came in, played a few games, didn't really play, but he was sort of coming towards the end of his career. But he weren't like, there was nobody who was like sulking.
Yeah.
But I suppose because we were up at the top of the league, but he was just really supporting like myself, Monty, whoever it was, younger lads who were in the team, to make sure we stayed on it, to get the results that we needed. But no,
they must have met up then, Nad. Has he not just been at Cardiff with Blackwell?
Yeah, they have. They've
kissed and made up.
They've kissed and made up, yeah. But they've obviously, I don't know what Blackie's doing now. Obviously,
we've not heard a good word said about him on here, Kevin Blackwell.
We have, haven't we? Didn't somebody bat for him?
I think they did, yeah.
Oh, did they?
We've heard quite a lot of bad words about
him. We've heard more bad than good.
Right, okay. Yeah,
any take on that?
It's a difficult one. Not a difficult one, really. It's a strange one for myself because obviously Blackie was assistant manager to Neil Warrnocks, and he was such a really, really good coach. A really good coach. And I really liked him. I always felt training with him, you got the best out of yourself. Because he was like training, it had to be how you played. You couldn't. So he was so intense. But then, because he was assistant, like if he had a go at you, you didn't really think too much of it. But then, he then came back after Neil Warrnocks had left, and we came down from the Premier League as manager. And then sort of lads were like, they really didn't like him.
Yeah.
They really didn't like him. But I don't know what Kev would say about this, but I think it was almost like he had too much power and he felt like he could use it, and I think lads didn't really like that.
So he was a bit of a bully then.
It came across like that, yeah. But I didn't really, because I had him, I'd seen how he was with Warrnocks, and like when he tried to be sort of too busy and getting in, the gaffer would be like, Kev, shut up. I'll tell him to F off. You'd be like, I thought, well, I've seen that side of him, so he didn't, and because I knew him from there, he didn't really affect me that much.
Warrnocks pulling the leash back a bit.
Oh yeah, whenever he come, I think the gaffer, he hated anybody coming in his technical area. So at the side of the pitch, when the game's going on, if someone come in, he'd be like, get fucking back in that dugout, because he didn't like anybody, giving the instructions out. Because when I first started playing, Blackie's a keeper, and he was on the gaffer put him on the bench a couple of times, and he'd always be like, when he was on the bench, he'd be constantly warming up. And you'd be thinking, what is he doing down there? He's fucking squeezing the back four up, behind the lines. He's so busy. And Warrnocks could be sending him out saying, go and fucking get into them, they're fucking too deep. He was all right. He was better as an assistant as a manager than a manager, I think. But yeah, I know that quite a few lads who
slaughtered him,
especially who had him at Bury. I don't think the
Sedge, weren't it?
Sedge.
Oh, did he not?
Bury.
The reason I was asking about Davies, did he ever fall out with Akinbaye?
Yes, yeah, he did actually.
That's a fight that I'd like to see.
That's probably better than the fight that happened.
Yeah.
That's probably a better fight than what happened on Tuesday night. That.
Yeah.
Saturday night, sorry.
Was it in training or
Wilder? No, something happened where we played somebody away, and it might even have been Chelsea or something like that. It was a tough team, and I think Addy texts Claude something like, I think you're messing about, like something like get tight to Drogba or something like that. He scored, and I don't know why, but Claude was like raging about it, and he sent him a message back, something like quite derogatory, I think, towards it might even have been towards like his mum or something like that. Something where, and Addy, obviously, he hadn't travelled to the game, so he was at home. Anyway, Monday morning come, and I think Claude must have been going in thinking, something's going to happen here, because I think Addy had texted him back saying, right, I'll see you Monday morning. So he's gone in. But at that time, I actually didn't see it because there was 2 changing rooms and it was split, and they were in the other changing room. And I think Addy had sort of gone up to him and sort of said something, and Claude whipped his razor out of his bag. But it weren't like a Gillette Mach 3. It was one of them flick ones. You know how you get...
Oh, the Turkish!
The Turkish ones. Yeah. It weren't a Mach 3 turbo.
He's turned up with a piece.
Yeah. He's flicked that out. And then they didn't obviously have a fight or anything like that. Addy didn't... Nothing happened, but I think it was very close to. I'm surprised that...
So Addy were very close to getting cut up?
I don't know if he would have got cut up. I think Addy might have been able to get rid of that. And just...
Were you at Preston when Andrew Davies had a falling out with Claude? Claude Davies was at Palace and we played them when we were at Preston. And for some reason, because Dava was a centre half and Claude was a centre half, they must have been picking each other up from corners or whatever.
Yeah.
But the changing rooms at Palace, you've got to walk past the away ones to get... No, sorry, you've got to walk past the home ones to get to the away ones.
Side.
And then too, for some... I don't even know what it was over. They fell out during the game and carried it into the tunnel.
Yeah.
Quite tight as well, innit?
Yeah, it was tight.
Yeah,
and Claude
tight.
looked a little bit angry. And Dava was, to be fair to him, wanted a bash as well.
Yeah.
I thought nothing else of it. I don't think they crossed paths again. And I was watching Sky Sports News probably a year or 2 later. Yeah. Claude was at Crawley and Dava had signed for Bradford.
Right.
And can you remember when they had there was a massive tear up on the pitch?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And Dava and Claude were involved. So after 2 years, like a proper scrap. It was a 22-man thingy, wasn't it?
Still running.
And that's where it was from.
Was Dava at Derby? Because they might have been at Derby together. Or maybe I've got
I think
that wrong.
he was. I don't know if he'd signed there. I know he was on
the same
loan.
time.
A long-running feud.
Yeah, I don't know. Steve Evans was at Crawley, I think, and him and Dava must have just carried on. Must have just had a mutual hatred.
I mean, Claude was a little bit... He used to do my head in, and quite a few of the lads' head in. He was all right as a lad.
Would he have been in the sea at Scarborough if he wrote that? wrote that?
Yeah. He weren't necessarily as a lad, but what he used to do is... So, you'd be playing a game, and you're winning. He must have been one of the most substituted centre-halves I've ever come across. Because, say we were leading 1-0, he'd come off. So it'd be like, I've done my job.
Not my fault.
We were winning when I come off.
Oh, right.
And he used to come off all the time, injured. And at first, because he just signed...
injured?
Yeah,
Not dragged off?
No, not dragged off.
Oh, right.
Injured. And when he first signed, nobody really clocked onto it. They just thought, he's,
Time went on.
Yeah. And as time went on through the season, people he'd come off, you see, with an hammy, and then he'd be training on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And people would be like, what's he fucking up to here? And then everyone got onto it then. And I even think the gaffer got onto it. In fact, I know he got onto it because later on in the season, he'd be like, Gaffer, rubbing his hammy, and he was going, fuck off. He'd just blank him. And he'd just leave him on because he used to do it all the time. And there was Morgs, who else do we have? Chris Laketti, Jags was playing at the back at the time, and they were Craig Short was there. I think Shorty was the one who was picking up on it the most, and he was going, there's nothing wrong with him, just leave him on. Yeah. And there weren't. But he was an alright lad. He was just very sort of kept himself to himself, but that with Addy, I wouldn't have liked to go in the middle of that. I can't see anybody trying to split it up, put it that way.
No. Did he used to shave with this shaver then, or did he just have one in his bag?
I think he used to use it. But I don't think he would have took it out for that Monday. I think he was
left it in.
But I think he said to himself,
the
lads were saying, well, why'd you get that razor out? And he went, would you fight Addy?
But Claude wasn't small.
I know, yeah. He was a unit, wasn't he?
So were you with Derek Greary then?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on him?
Del?
Yeah.
Quite quiet lad, really.
I thought will Tonge be at Sheffield Utd when I went to do him? That were a fucking thingy for me, George Santos moment.
Oh really?
I wanted to hurt him, yeah.
Why?
You were probably on the Christmas do.
Preston?
Yeah.
You were with Sheffield.
In the old Dubliner.
Do you know what? It's funny because I think I know what you're going to say here. For some reason, he had it on him that day. He was hammering me.
He nearly fucking had it on him that day.
He was hammering me that day, and I was thinking, Del, what? Obviously, I knew him from Sheffield United, and I was at Preston on loan. And I was thinking, what is wrong with you? He was like proper coming for me, like over the top, and I was thinking, I've just put it down to he'd had too many drinks, but what happened?
Well, I'm just stood talking to Morgs and Cressy, and he's just near me here going, you fat cunt. You look at fucking state of you. And obviously,
I like him already.
I'm in a bit of a pickle. It's 2:00 Sunday afternoon. You fucking fat cunt. Anyway, I says to Morgs, you better get him away.
Yeah.
And then we played him just after Christmas at Bramall Lane.
Yeah.
And same as Santos. All I wanted to do was hurt him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Only player I've ever wanted to hurt, and it was him.
No, in fairness, he is a really nice lad. You've obviously caught him at a real bad moment.
A bad time.
We've
You have
all
caught
had a
him.
drink, haven't we?
You have caught him.
Mate, but I don't mind him battering me. Like, that's fine. Like, but
It was just the way he was saying
yeah,
it.
not even good crack. You know what I mean? Not like going up and saying fucking like, look at the size of your fucking nose. Stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just a bit.
Weren't
too
even
aggressive.
funny crack.
Yeah, he was being nasty. But no,
Twat.
because obviously Morgs was he? He'd still been at Sheffield United then.
Yeah, I think he'll be. What do you think of Morgs when he came in?
Well, funnily enough, he came down his first day. He came to the golf course in Cornwall. I can remember his first day, him coming down. That's when he met up with us, in the pre-season. But no, Morgs came in and did really well. We used to have a few arguments at times because he was. Do you know what he's like? He's like proper defender, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's just an out-and-out defender.
Yeah, and if he was clearing it, he'd clear it. Because I used to be on him all the time because he.
I'm not surprised he's them fucking bunions. Surprised he couldn't kick it straight with them bunions.
I know. Well, he come in and obviously he was really dominant in the air, good defender. But we had a little bit where, for some reason, he'd come through, and even if someone had played a ball, he could just take a touch and just pass it, but he'd be shelling it. And I'm going, Morgs, take it down and just play it. We keep giving it back. But it's funny actually because that was just the way he was like. And in actual fact, that just brings you on to something that was funny in training. We played, we had like a practice game in training. It weren't on a full pitch, it was like 8v8 or whatever. Morgs is obviously playing for one team, whatever. The gaffer's watching on the side. And he even did that in training. Like, because the gaffer always used to say, I don't care, whatever, if you're a defender and you're running back towards your own goal and the guy's behind you, just put it out for a throw. Don't try and take a touch and clear it down the line in case you miss hit it or whatever. He was just sort of like safety first. Anyway, in training, Morgs used to do the same thing, but he just used to volley the ball as far as he possibly could and as hard as he could. So anyway, we're playing this game, someone's hit one in the channel, but they're all squeezed up. Morgs has come across with them big Umbros on.
Oh, his Umbro special.
Yeah. and it must have come off his bunion because he's hit the gaffer right in the face. He's hit Neil Warrnocks right in the face, glasses on, and literally everyone has just gone, and no one said a word. Everyone stopped moving, and everyone was just looking at the gaffer, and he's got his head down like this, and then his glasses are on the floor, and then he's come up, and all his nose is bleeding like this, and then, do you know Ned Kelly?
Yeah.
Ned Kelly, coach. He was assistant manager at the time, and he was reffing the game, and he was just looking like that, and he just went. Just started cracking up and everyone just started laughing, and then the gaffer's lost it and he's right, fuck this game off, Morgs, get on that fucking line now, everyone get a ball. And everyone had to just zing balls at Morgs until they hit him. He had to face us, he weren't turning the other way, and lads weren't hitting him. And everyone got a ball each, and we've all had to go now. He went, no, go and get the balls, keep going. And he'd get a bit closer if you can. And he'd like...
What was Morgs doing? Was Morgs laughing and stuff?
No, he weren't laughing, because he'd like, the gaff was, his nose was bleeding.
His glasses are smashed on the floor.
And his glasses are in two pieces. Well, yeah, that's what he was like in training, just exactly the same as he is in a game.
Thing is, it's slide tackle into a post to clear it and stuff.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday morning, on a Monday morning.
He's one of that. He'd be wearing studs in training.
Oh yeah, no matter how hard
I could never get my head around it. He'd wear studs in training, be stamping on people, and you think it's Monday. It's Monday. I'm a bit stiff, coming down the back of people.
You need a pistol, don't you?
Stoke. So I found out about Stoke. I just got a call sort of 10:15 on the last Tuesday. Bombed it over to Sheffield. Kev Blackwell was there. I had a chat with him. I was expecting a chat with him and Sam Ellis, where he was going to speak to me about it and give sort of his opinion on it. And basically all he said was, listen, I don't want you to go, but I've been told not to persuade you to stay.
From above.
So then when he said that, I was like, well, and I'm thinking in my head, Stoke are in the Premier League, Sheffield United are, we were pushing at the top of the Championship, and it wasn't really a case of which league they were in. It was just where, if you've got someone who's saying that to you, it just makes you think, well,
fuck them.
Yeah,
basically.
I think. Sorry, go on.
No, did you not speak to Tony Pulis or anything? Nobody from Stoke. It was just right. You can go to Stoke.
Yeah.
So there's nobody. Yeah. You're not getting any insight into the club or anything.
No,
like that?
Nothing, and that's why it was a difficult decision. I had no time to sort of discuss it with anyone. I just had to make that decision, and obviously with them saying that, it sort of made my decision for me.
Yeah. So just going back then, do you know, because you came through the youth team at Sheffield United, and notoriously players who've gone through the youth system have not got paid as much as what signings that have come in. So do you feel as though that were you on a sort of level with the rest of the lads who were getting back bought for whatever X amount of money and stuff like that?
Yeah, by then I was,
right,
because we'd got promoted. We played a year in the Premier League, and then literally the season after that, I'd signed a new deal straight away when we come out of the Premier League. So I was on a decent wage, and it was the season after where this happened. I'd had Brian Robson for 6 months, and then Blackie came in. I had him for 6 months, and it was the beginning of the season after that. So I think
that comes down to the manager looking after the lads. That's
what
Warrnocks
you know what
said.
I mean?
We've spoke about it before, where the young lads don't get the same.
Yeah.
Treated the same as other lads that are coming in.
No,
but Warnock always looked after. If you do well for him, doesn't matter where you're from.
Yeah, I think at the start it was, you're just trying to play as many games as you can, and that was all that was important. But then, especially once when you were doing well, they would reward you, but they'd always have quite a lot of years on the contract, so it was in their favour. But like I say, I re-signed when, as soon as we got relegated from the Premier League, Brian Robson'd come in. So actually Neil Warrnocks wasn't actually there when I signed that contract. But I think they were sort of thinking, right, I want to keep the nucleus of this squad together to try and go straight back up. And to be fair, that was sort of their initial aim. They'd signed James Beattie, paid $4 million for him, paying him good wages. Gary Naismith from Everton, Lee Hendry. We'd signed some really good players. Gary Speed
would have been obviously on really good money.
Yeah, so that was their initial thought. Right, we'll go straight back up. But when we didn't, I think then they thought, right, can we start to
cut the cloth,
get a little bit of money back in, because they're probably thinking we've only got another 2 years of parachute payments, can we?
Yeah.
And I think that was sort of the general idea behind it. So once he said to me, I've been told not to persuade you to stay, you're thinking, well, I'm not really wanted here.
That must have been hard as well, the fact that you've been there. I mean, what age were you then when you went to Stoke?
I think I was maybe 26.
So you had a solid 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years at Sheffield United.
Yeah,
and then
25 or 26.
You've done all that for them.
And then make a decision like that.
And then they're saying, don't persuade him to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is when, when fans are like, well, they're all fucking mercenaries footballers and they should be loyal to football clubs. That's a perfect case example where it's fuck them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've been at the club 10 years, you've done so well for them, helped get them to Premier League, and then 2 seasons later, don't persuade him to stay.
You've just had your cocoa, puffing the pillars, and next minute you're off to Stoke.
Yeah, so they sort of accepted the bid, so I had to just make a decision. And in all honesty, I think if I'd have had more time to think about it, I wouldn't have left. Because I think, obviously, I had such a tie to the club that I know I would have probably just stayed the more I'd thought about it in my head. And it was probably at the time, it probably was the right time for me to leave, because I'd sort of come through there, made my name there, and then we'd gone up and achieve that, and then we'd come down, and it was a bit like, right, it's probably time for a new group to have a go at it now.
By the way, it's a great move still, though.
Yeah, I know, and that was the other thing. I was thinking Stoke have just come up. You know, they're obviously doing really well. Obviously, you don't know how it's going to go because we'd just been relegated not that too long ago. But it was difficult, though, because obviously Sheffield United were... you thought they would have been in the running for going up. And actually, that season, they did get to the playoff final eventually. But Stoke obviously stayed up.
That's when they bet us.
Yeah.
So how was it getting to Stoke then? Tony Pulis' training completely different.
Yeah, I can answer that one. Did you never have a medical at Stoke then?
No, it wasn't time to have a medical or anything. I just went in there. So it was really surreal feeling for me because it was quite an emotional time because I'd been there for a long period and I was in Sheffield and I've left the ground and I thought, right, that's me done now then.
Dark Tuesday night.
Somber.
Yeah.
And I was like, I said to, I think Sam Ellis actually was speaking to Tony Pulis because he knew him. And I said, can I just get my gear tomorrow and then I'll come in on Thursday or something like that? And he was like, no, I need you in tomorrow.
It was quite a
typical TP.
And I was thinking, well, I ain't got my boots. And I had a flat in Sheffield at the time, so I just went to the flat, got some boots, and I'm thinking, right, well, this is me done here now then. And then I went into Stoke the next day, and that was that.
It sounded quite sad, this. It's like the end of Incredible Hulk. Imagine with your empty cardboard box, just putting your stuff in.
No, it was a bit. But then obviously I went into Stoke the next day, and then it's all just found it actually really difficult going to Stoke. Really difficult.
From the off?
Yeah, just not necessarily because of the club, just because I'd been at Sheffield since I was 16, for basically 10 years. And you're just so used to a certain environment. I'd never known anything different, and no one likes change there.
Yeah, you've never been the new one, have you? You've never been the new player, apart from when you were 16.
So I've gone in there, and it was like, right, that was sort of when I, with football, sort of realised it was a bit of an eye-opener to what it's actually really like. Because at Sheffield, I was in a massive bubble where I knew everyone, and it was a proper sort of family environment because I just knew everyone. But then I went to Stoke and it was just a completely different situation, as Parky I'm sure know as well.
When did you realise that you weren't going to be a massive part of his plans?
Well, I think quite soon actually, because I think when I first went in, I think what makes it easier when you go to a new club is if you go in there and you start playing straight away.
Yeah.
But what I quickly worked out is that Tony Pulis, who I really like him, he'd bought me to play sort of wide midfield on the left or the right, but I haven't been playing wide midfield. I've been playing central midfield. I'd played sort of left hand side for Sheffield United for a period of time, but that was sort of filling in and I ended up just staying there for a while. But I'd shifted back inside, which to my natural position, and I went in there and I was like, I was going in there as a squad player. I don't think he'd thought, right, he's going to go in and play. I think because now you look at it was a last minute thing, he was thinking, I need numbers in.
I need someone.
I need numbers in.
But no one's told you that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because I couldn't, that's what I mean. I couldn't have a conversation with anyone.
How much did they pay for you then?
I think it's 2 million.
So, going back to it, Stoke have paid £2 million and you've not had a medical.
No.
That's fucking unheard of, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not surprising, like your games record and stuff. You wouldn't have had many injuries. That's what they look at,
innit? But I mean, it's still £2 million to the tour chairman, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Touch wood, I hadn't had a major injury or anything like that, so I know what you mean. They were probably looking at that thinking, well, he's played the season so far, he's fit. But yeah, went in there and I came on as substitute, but I just never played, and it was just really difficult for me because I'd been used to playing, and then you go into a situation where you're like, right, this is a change of what I'm used to, and I just found it really difficult to settle in there.
And bear that in mind, how did he try and, because he wasn't picking you, what was his man management like when you weren't in the team, and did he try and keep you on side?
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Tony Pulis, he's probably better with the lads who aren't in the team than the lads who are playing. He's probably harsher with the lads in the team than the other lads. He's very much about the old group and everybody sort of being in it together. And
same as Tonge said, though, he's a likeable guy. He's a nice guy. You know what I mean? He's a top guy. So you can't, you know, if you're Blackwell, playing for Blackwell, and most of the team think he's a dick, it's different to when he's actually a nice fella, and you know what I mean.
Like you in the morning, you know, some managers, if you're not involved or you're not playing for them, they don't really speak to you.
Yeah.
Whereas he's not like that at all.
Oh,
Like,
even more so.
Yeah.
Tonge, how's the family?
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was even
You're
more
not playing
over the top.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I said it out for the week.
Tell him to not bother Saturday.
Anybody over sub? Aki, how's the family? Yeah, they're still all right, Tone. I know I'm not playing tomorrow. But same as I went in as a squad player pretty much. I mean, I didn't know at the time either, but he just got to get on with it. But he wasn't bothered the fact that if you were pissed off or whatever, it didn't seem to
get you in that grip when he walking off.
Yeah, walk off the training ground.
I've heard
about that one.
It don't seem to care what people are thinking of him or whatever.
No, it was different than what I was used to. That's for sure. Even as far as like driving in, so I'd have to drive in from here. It was like 50 minutes, where I was used to like 10 minutes. I just couldn't. And it was like where I realised in football, it's sort of like it's every man for himself. Whereas before, I never looked at it like that because I was sort of at Sheffield. It just felt like I was playing with my mates.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just never got going at Stoke.
So how long after that you started going out on loan?
I think I was the first season that when I signed, I was sort of always sort of involved. Whether I wasn't starting, but I was on the bench, coming on and what have you. And that was frustrating because at times I was coming on and doing well, and then the next game I might not be involved, and I was like scratching my head, and it's a bit disillusioning.
Yeah.
Did you ever go and see him? And so,
yeah. I went to see him and saying like I'm not playing, and he was like, "Mike, don't worry, son."
You think I'm kidding, don't you?
Yeah.
Finally, I've got somebody who can back up what I've been saying for
Like, don't worry,
70 episodes.
But he was very good, and I don't know how he did it. If you went to see him, he managed to shut you down, and you'd come out like as if you weren't annoyed anymore. I don't know how he used to do it. And you think,
you're right, Tone. I shouldn't be playing.
He cares about the family.
That's brilliant,
nice guy.
It was just. I think the second year, I went on loan at the Christmas to Preston, and then that was actually a little bit easier because I'd been to Stoke, but it was the first time I'd ever been on loan ever, so that was a new experience, and I really enjoyed it there. I would have quite happily stayed at Preston.
So am I right in saying you went to Preston, you went to Derby, you went to Preston again, and each club wanted to sign you?
Yeah, I think when I went to Preston, I don't know if did Alan Irvine, did he leave? I can't remember.
He'll have left.
He left in the January, I think.
Yeah.
It were because we played in the FA Cup just the week after he left.
Early Jan on it, I think.
Yeah, I think I managed to get him a sack.
Going back to the Stoke thing, were you there when Beattie and Pulis had a row?
No, I was there, but I was on loan, so I missed that one.
Do you ever know what happened with that?
Yeah.
Something to do with the Christmas do?
Yes, yeah, it was. I think basically what had happened is the usual scenario. Beats had organised the Christmas do for everybody to. I think they played Arsenal, if I'm right. Arsenal away, and I think they'd got beat. And then I think Tony Pulis had just said, right, you're not going out, or you're not going out Saturday night. You can go out Sunday, something along them lines. Basically, completely screwed the plans up.
Putting the fucking kibosh on the Christmas do.
And then I don't know. I think I think Beats was obviously pissed off because he's organised it all, spoken to people, etc., and he was having a bit of a moan up about it. And I think obviously Tony Pulis weren't happy with him moaning about it and lost it. But obviously, I don't know what exactly happened because I weren't in the changing room. But
it's like the best kept secret ever, isn't it?
Nobody ever knows.
Might have all signed disclaimer. It's not signed disclaimer. TP's
I don't know
because
because
a disclaimer.
I think I used to travel in with Beats, and I asked him, and he didn't really tell me the full story. But
That's mad.
But the thing is, as well, we're swinging back to. He would not have been bothered that he'd spoiled everyone's Christmas too. You know what I mean? Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Kempy, fuck him.
Well, he used to be fair, when we used to have international breaks, like it was a nightmare then because you had to bring your passport in and hand it in. You couldn't because you didn't want anyone going away, so you had to bring your passport in.
Top draw.
You had to bring your passport in, leave it in, and then you get it the next week.
Yeah.
It's mad that he's still held in such high regard doing things like that.
Yeah,
because if it was anybody else, any other of your managers cancelling Christmas dues or doing something like that, you'd be like, fucking dick.
Yeah.
You would, wouldn't you?
He never cancelled that. But I mean, going on to that, when we did go up, so we'd play on the Saturday, we'd be in Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, in Thursday, Friday, in running Saturday morning.
Off Sunday,
in Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday game. So just a normal week without a game. So you're looking at like lads are jetting off here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
And what was your demeanour like when this was happening?
Raging, but you can't say out, can you?
In fairness, what he did when we was there was you still had probably just as many days off as everyone else, but he just didn't give you that middle weekend off.
Yeah.
So you'd have, say you play on the Saturday, you'd probably go in like, he'd maybe have you in like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you'd be off Thursday, Friday, and you'd come in Saturday.
Yeah.
So you'd
not enough time to go
just
away.
run on the Saturday, and then he'd like say, "Oh, I'll see you Tuesday," something like that. He would give you the days, but just not.
They never used to give us the days.
Did he not?
But the worst thing about it were, and I'm sure Kempy was still the same.
Yeah.
So the assistant manager, who was Tony Pulis's pal, so we'd finish the game on the Saturday. The next time we'd see him would be at pre-match. 2 weeks in that the game, 2 weeks the next game.
Yeah.
So we used to get a flight on the Sunday morning to America.
I know.
Come back with a fucking tan. We've just been grafting his balls off for the last 2 weeks. And that's the next time you'd see the assistant manager.
I mean, he's the only assistant who used to commute from America.
It were absolute like it were a ball late to him coming to work.
Oh God! I know because the lads used to tell a story actually about Kempy where they said like once he'd done that, and then something happened, and the next time they seen him, they'd kicked off on the Saturday, and he comes striding down the touchline. His flight had got delayed, or something. And then he's in at half time with a fucking lovely tan. Yeah.
Oh man!
It must have been frustrating though to keep going on loan and these clubs wanting to sign you and him not selling you.
Definitely when I went to Derby, they wanted to sign me because I went in the January and then I played the remainder of the season, and I was with Nigel Clough there, and he was really good, and I really enjoyed playing for him.
He's the opposite, isn't he, for time off, international breaks?
Oh, I've never come across anyone like Nigel Clough before when it comes to being relaxed about certain stuff. He was like, he'd give you loads of time off. Like,
sign me, Nigel, sign me.
Yeah.
Would you go to Miami and that on international?
No, never done that. But he'd like, say you're playing on the Saturday, he'd just ask, "We'll see you." Sometimes just give you the week off, and you'd be thinking, "Flipping out, that's a lot." But he was the first time where I'd been at a club where you had Thursday off. So the amount of times you'd play Saturday, you'd have Sunday, Monday off. You'd come in, train Tuesday, Wednesday, have Thursday off. Then you'd come in on Friday, do a five-a-side, and then play on a Saturday.
The weeks are quick then, aren't they?
Yeah.
Your weeks are quick. You can get through a season without even noticing.
Did you like him?
Yeah, I did. Because it just, I mean, maybe because I was travelling from here, but it just worked really well. So even if you had a Tuesday game, what you'd do is, so you train Monday, you play Tuesday, you'd come in Wednesday morning after the game. So it was great for a traveller because you'd just sort of train a little cool down, and then you wouldn't see him again until Friday. So you'd have literally 3/4 of Wednesday off, all Thursday.
Perfect.
And then train again.
Did he try and do anything like his old man?
He did
anything outrageous?
Not really outrageous. He was just very relaxed. It was like even the first game. My first game actually for Derby was against Sheffield Utd away, and he pulled me in. He went, "Oh, I only got there on the Thursday. I trained Thursday," and he went, "Oh, what are you going to do for the game then?" And I was thinking, "What do you mean?" And he went, "Well, are you going to just meet us there?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Do I not need to go on the coach?" He went, No. We'll just see you in the changing room about 1:30." And he went, just speak to Cross. He'll sort you a parking permit out for the ground, and then we'll see you in the changing room about 1:30. But he did not like to get to the ground early, like be in the changing room for too long. So
waiting.
Yeah. So I mean, he said 1:30 there to me. They didn't come in till 2. And then you get in at 2, get changed, rapid. I mean, if you needed a robe or strappings, you were screwed.
That was a ball ache sometimes.
Yeah. But he'd just do laps of the ground on the coach just to avoid going in, and then just get on with the game. And he never ever wanted to stay over. If he could go on the day, he'd go on the day.
Really?
Yeah. But it was just, you just get different managers just view it in different ways.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind him. But
I know Neil Collins had a big falling out with him at Sheffield.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
I don't know if there was a legal thing going on. Made him. He wasn't even allowed in the building or whatever. And I don't think Neil's a good lad. I don't think he.
Well, Nigel Clough is. If you see him in an interview, you would not believe what he's like if he loses it. He's like chalk and cheese. The way he's really calm in interviews, but he can lose it. He really can lose it. But I got on really well with him. I enjoyed it.
So why were the reason that you didn't go to Derby then? Was Stoke asking for too much money, or were Tony just saying we don't want to sell him? Or
no, it was really frustrating actually, because he'd said, "Oh, we want to try and take you," but then this is why I was getting frustrated at Stoke, because you start the season, you come back, don't you? And he hasn't signed anyone, because it's September, so everybody waits for some unknown reason. So he didn't want to let me go because he didn't have the numbers. But then what sort of pissed me off was once he signed everyone, because I was involved the first few games, then he signs loads of players, and then you're out on your arse and you're not involved. And I'm thinking, well, Derby have signed someone else now. Yeah. It's too late.
Yeah.
But I think he was all right in the end, because I didn't play for a couple of years, and then he gave me another year for no sort of apparent reason.
So that's when you start being a fucking mercenary, innit?
I don't want to criticise him too much.
It weren't about the football then, was it?
No. But the problem I was supporters looking from the outside, and I can imagine a lot of Stoke fans were probably looking, thinking, he's just sitting on his contract there. He doesn't want to go out and play. He's just happy to just not do anything. But it couldn't have been more further from the truth. I wanted to go out and play, but what you find in football, and you'll know, is when you've not when you get to a situation where you've not played for a bit, people don't want to just sign you. And because I'd gone to Stoke, I wasn't on like outlandish money where nobody could afford to take me. But if a championship team was going to take me, it would possibly be quite a big risk for them to just commit to a contract to sign me.
They're top earners like you.
And for Stoke, it wasn't a situation where it was breaking their bank for me to stay. So I was just getting caught all the time, and I just couldn't.
Between a rock and a hard place, really, aren't you?
Danny Pugh was in the same boat as you, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he wasn't really
listen, I weren't on my own in that situation. There was Pugh played a bit more than me though. Tom Soers, he was similar. Dava, he was similar. He came in. Dava struggled with a few injuries, unfortunately. But there was other lads as well. There must have been 4 or 5 lads who were sort of on the periphery of it, but they couldn't really get out to leave.
I remember somebody telling us a story about Pee Wee doing going in to see him, and it was just Danny, you're not going anywhere, son. Have another year.
Have another year.
No, but I think
I like you around the place.
Yeah, that's what he's like, though, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what he said to me when I went to leave. I like around the place. All right, no problem. I'll just come entertain the lads. Yeah.
Because there was a bit of controversy with you and Danny Pugh, wasn't there, when you were at Preston, and then Darren Ferguson got sacked,
and then we got recalled. Yeah, I didn't actually realise. I remember that actually, but I didn't realise it at the time. It was only afterwards, because they were sort of saying that Sir Alex had put a call into Tony Pulis and say, get them two back.
Yeah.
They've sacked Darren. I don't want them having any more help.
They've sacked out Darren Punk.
Because by the way, we had Welbeck,
Josh King,
Matty James, and Josh King there, and he pulled them back the next day
back as well.
Yeah, we had them on loan from.
Sir Alex had a fucking a personal vendetta against Preston.
Yeah. He put. I mean, he got everyone pulled back. But yeah, it's and that came out afterwards. I didn't realise at the time, but then they started saying that a little bit later. But yeah, me and Pewey did. We had to go straight back. But it's a good club, Preston. Really good club.
And he knows everything, because I went to the races with Sean St Ledger not long after Darren had been sacked. And for some reason, Sir Alex Ferguson was in there. And he gave Ledge the dirtiest look I've ever seen somebody give from like across the ring.
Really?
You know, just going bright red. And look, because Ledge kicked up a bit of a fuss, didn't he, or something with.
Well, Ledge were Alan Irvine's real pet.
So something happened. I remember, and he just completely. I think it was one of them where he half blanked him, just stared at him.
Oh, really?
And he's obviously just thought, because I was there as well.
Yeah, but because I think if I remember rightly, when I come the second time when Darren Ferguson was there, St Ledger had gone to Middlesbrough, hadn't he? And then he was trying to come back, and then he did re-sign back.
Yeah, he came back. He couldn't play under Strachan, I don't think.
So I don't know.
But yeah,
I don't know why that.
That's some strength, though, innit, from Alex.
So were the three at Preston together or separately?
Yeah, we were together. First time round. Yeah.
Good lads.
Yeah.
We had a good squad, didn't we?
Group, yeah.
So you would have signed it. You would have signed for us if you could have done. That first loan.
Yeah, if I could have done. Yeah. Obviously, the difficult thing is usually when you go on loan, you're in a bit of trouble. You don't go, but you could tell with going into Preston that it was a really decent group of players.
Yeah.
And it was like, there's just no one's got any patience in football anymore, have they? They want, they were never going to be in danger of going down or whatever. It was just a case of giving it a little bit longer and waiting for things to pick up.
The fact that we just got beaten in the playoff semis the year before.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
If I remember right.
We won one game in 10.
Does affect you, that, doesn't it? If you lose in a big and you think, we should have been there or we could have been there.
But the next season we were third after 10, 15 games, and we only slipped down to mid-table.
Yeah.
Something wasn't right there. I still haven't gotten to the bottom of why he got sacked.
I think it'll because obviously Sir Alex Ferguson's got horses, hasn't he? And the owner of Preston, Trevor Hemmings, who was a big horseman.
All right.
And Darren had just been sacked from Peterborough. So I'm no fucking Hercule Poirot. But if I were to put two and two together, that's the four that I'd come up with. Right. And I felt a bit sorry for Darren as well, because I think he got stitched up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think they came in and said, right, you need to get so many players off the wage bill. Yeah. So he alienated 8 of the bigger earners, and then he eventually got rid of them all.
Yeah.
But then he never got the money that he'd saved to reinvest in it.
So it was just an unsettled squad as well, that was left.
That's the problem when you're getting a squad where you've got a group that they're trying to get out, but they're actually decent players.
And your pals as well.
And the pals are the lads that are there. You're sort of asking for trouble, really, because it never seems to end well, that. Because usually they get another manager in and he goes, you know what, let's get them back involved.
That's the first thing we'll do.
Yeah.
He's a good player, fucking get him back involved.
Yeah.
All right, and saying then when you went back to Stoke, Pulis played you all pre-season, you played in Europa League, and then you didn't make the squad.
Yeah, I mean, I was involved in the pre-season. I played games. He used to, obviously, it's like they change everyone round, don't they? And then I was involved the first couple of games from the bench. I didn't start. But yeah, and then obviously, you start mid-August, don't you? So there's a couple of weeks and then the transfer window starts. But yeah, and then obviously I wasn't involved then for... I couldn't remember which...
Frustrating.
I couldn't remember which season it was.
In Premier League, you have to name a 25, do you?
28, I think, is it?
It was 25. I don't know if it's changed.
So if you're not 25. In that 25, you can't play at all?
No, and that's what happened to me in my last season there, because there was that many numbers. We had such a big squad. I wasn't in the 25. So it was like, right, I'm not in the 25, so what am I going to do now till January?
That's I said, can I just leave? Like, can I just not come in? Or
Well, that was the problem. I couldn't just leave, because it was like, if I was just to leave and they weren't going to pay me up, no one was ready, because I hadn't played. And
would you have taken another year off, Tony?
I did take another year off.
But then, but on the flip side, like, you've got to think, well, why did the club just not say, right, well, I'll tell you what, we'll just pay you up. We've got to pay you anyway, you can't play.
Yeah.
Let's just come to sort of agreement, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
The club will save them a few quid.
I know.
And then just fucking go your own separate ways.
Yeah, true. But I mean, it was only probably the case for, I mean, my last season, I wasn't, that scenario happened when I wasn't in the 25. So I couldn't play. But I think I could play in the FA Cup. And we had a good, I think that was when we got to the final. So that was one of the reasons, sorry, it's just come back to me now. That's why he wouldn't let me leave. And he wouldn't let other lads leave, because we were in the Europa League. So he needed like a big squad of players
for the Thursday night game.
For the Thursday night, even if it was a case of sitting on the bench or whatever. And Stoke, to be fair, were doing well in that Europa League in the games, and they were in the FA Cup and the League Cup and what have you. So he was probably just thinking, it's a one-off season, I'll just keep people. And I think that's probably maybe why he offered me another year.
Yeah,
But then don't get me wrong, I signed that extra year in my, what would have been, 4th year at Stoke, but I never had it, because I left and went to Leeds at the start of pre-season.
I forgot about Leeds.
I can't, that's it's fucking. I mean, if I'd have been a player in the 25, not in the 25, and I got a year left on my contract, I think I'm starting to try and ruin things.
Yeah,
training wise.
Even Uncle Tony. Even with Uncle Tony.
Yeah, I think I am. Because I mean, there's been out of the team, right? But if you're not in the 25, that is the ultimate fucking kicking the balls in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you just feel like, what's the point of being there?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because you feel like, well, I can't play, so.
But I'm training all week for fuck all.
Yeah, that's why it's difficult. But then
did he used to give the weekends off?
Yeah.
Did you have to go to home games?
No.
Oh. He might have got till Christmas, that, I mean.
No, you would go to home games sometimes, don't get me wrong, and support the lads, but it was just a difficult scenario. But I probably had that for 6 months, because then I went to Barnsley on loan in January.
Right.
So it weren't for a long period realistically. It was from September to December.
Yeah.
But it's just hard, because then when you're not used to playing, then you go out on loan, you're miles off it.
Yeah, it takes you a good month, doesn't it? If
you look at that, you were at Sheffield for 10 years, you were the main man, it was a family club.
Yeah.
And then the 5 years after that was just.
Well, like I say,
anywhere.
No, the first year was all right, because I was involved and we stayed up and it was great. But then the second year, obviously I went to Preston on loan, and then it was more the third and fourth year. No, the second year was at Derby, so that was all right. The first 2 years were okay. I got some games in, but it was the second 2 years were really difficult and long years, where you sort of was thinking,
stop-start.
Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I'm wasting my time, but I can't get out anywhere. And then as soon as you get a season where you've not played, everyone forgets about you.
Yeah, you fall off the radar.
You don't think that would happen in football, but it does. As soon as you stop
especially
playing,
not when you've been in it, not when you're sort of 28 and you've.
Yeah.
As long as that, it's not not as if like you're fucking 33, 34 where people go, I'm not looking for a younger lad.
Because you're thinking, realistically well, I'm not playing, but I'm at a Premier League club. I've played in the Championship.
Yeah,
been think someone would come and give you, but then that's football, isn't it?
If you could do it all again, would you have switched your phone off before you went to bed?
Yeah, probably.
That's a serious question. Like, financially, it might have been.
No, I don't think so. I always think like, these sort of things happen for a reason, and it did sort of open my eyes to it, because you can look at it in another way. Yeah, Sheffield United did that, but not too long after that they were in League One.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't know what would have happened if I would have stayed. So it was a very good eye-opening experience for Stoke. It didn't go nowhere near as well as what you'd want it to go football-wise. But
I'm still perplexed that you've got 15 minutes to make a decision.
Yeah.
They've paid £2 million and you've not had a medical.
I know.
I wonder what
How long
the thought process was.
How long
like.
did you sign your first contract at Stoke?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Do you think he was just going down squads in the Championship, just going, I need strength?
No disrespect to Tonge, but I can imagine that what he were doing.
Yeah.
That's what he were like.
Well, I think what happened is, obviously I played against him before, and he thought, well,
made an impression.
I must have had a decentish game when I played against him, and I must have stuck it, and he's thought, well, let's try and get him.
Yeah.
Were you happy then when Mr. Warnock made the call for to reunite?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Why did they call him Colin?
I think is it an anagram? I think if you put his name, Neil Warrnock, I think it comes in as something like Colin Wanker, doesn't it? Is that right? Is that the right term? Anagram?
Predictive text.
Get the dictionary out, lads. That's it.
I think that's why. If you use all the letters out of the Neil Warrnock, that's what it comes in.
There's only so many years you can be away from seeing that pseudocreme being applied, isn't there?
I know,
you need to see it again.
But yeah, no, it was when, obviously, I can remember him ringing me. I was on the train, and he just rang me and said, "Do you fancy it?" I said, "No, I have."
And you've got just till the end of the season left from January at Stoke.
No, I had a year left. This was at the start of the season.
The start. All right, yeah.
I had a year left. So I initially went on loan. I went on loan from September to January. It's a bit weird actually, because I went there on loan for whatever it was, 4 months. Really enjoyed it. Actually found some form. Scored quite a few goals for me. Played all the games. It was brilliant. It sort of gave me sort of a new lease of life, you know, when you've not been playing and then you go into it. And I'm playing. I knew him. I knew some of the lads that were there. I knew Pewee, Brownie. I was travelling with them, and it was great. And I was like, all right, I've remembered what it was like now to be
part of the team.
Yeah,
and
then playing and enjoying it. But then then I went back. I think my loan expired it was somewhat very timely, like the weekend before Christmas, like December the 19th. So obviously my loan had finished, but then I couldn't re-sign then till the 1st of January.
So you had Christmas off?
So I had Christmas off. Well, you say off. I went back in. I've never ran as much in my life.
You'd have it off at another club, but not under Tony.
I couldn't believe it. I went back in, and even the other lads were going, "Why is he running you so much?"
So were you just running you yourself?
No, with some of the other lads, but after every session.
Had it been agreed that you were signing back for Leeds?
It hadn't been agreed, but it was like they were gonna do it. Neil Warrnocks said obviously wants to sign me, and I was thinking I can't see any reason why it won't happen. And I went back in, and even the other lads were going, "You've played three games a week for about 4 months." I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Why is he running you so much?" I don't know why he was doing it, whether he was thinking, don't come back and think it's going to be an easy ride or something like that.
Yeah, just having a
I don't know
Christmas
if he was. I don't necessarily even think that he thought like that. I think that's just a lot of time at Stoke, as you know, the training's not necessarily typical football training, is it? In the sense of you don't play like just loads of 5-0s and
it's not short and sharp training. It's
I'd like to think that he's thought, I'm going to get him fit for when he goes.
Yeah, and he don't get me wrong, he was great. He was asking me how it had gone.
By the way, if it's the 19th of December, it's only 13 days so you can sign again. You're not going to lose that much fitness in 13 games if you just played 15, 17, 18 games.
I had about 2 weeks there. 2 weeks until I went back.
I reckon you could put a stone on over Christmas.
Over Christmas? Days. Oh, easy, yeah. But I'm on about. But if you're just doing your normal training, there's no need to fucking lambast you with running at the end of every training session.
Yeah, but I went back in, done that, and thankfully it got sorted, and then I joined Leeds fully.
Permanent in Jan.
Signed for 2.5 years, I think I signed for.
Was this the Italian fella still there?
No, he weren't there at the time.
So you were 29 this year then?
Yes, I was 29. 29. Signed for Leeds. Obviously, such a good club. Like, obviously, everyone always talks about Leeds and says, but again, it is. You sort of get there and you're like,
it really is.
Heck, yeah. Like, I'd really like them to go up because they do need to be in there.
Yeah.
And it is a bit of a pressure pot though. Like, the supporters there. Don't get me wrong. If you're winning, it's unbelievable. But if you're losing a couple,
I think that's the downfall sometimes.
I think so. Yeah. I think like to play for Leeds and manage Leeds is a tough ask.
So you're, even though they've got this reputation, persona of being this fantastic fan base, which they are.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, you think that kills them and affects them a little bit?
I think
things
so.
Are
Yeah.
going a little bit the other way.
Yeah, because I think that the demand and expectation is so high that that's what if it's not going well, they expect to be up there and in the Premier League.
Probably rightly so as well when you think of the history.
I know, but you can say that about the history. The history's like irrelevant, really.
I think that's the issue, though.
How long have they been out of the Premier League now?
Long time.
Long time. So it's got to get to a point where they don't deserve to be in it because of the history.
Yeah, but it's just think of the fan base.
Oh yeah,
biggest fan base.
Yeah, it's incredible, and we've been to Leeds games, and it's brilliant atmosphere. The same as Tonge just said, when they start turning, then it obviously is not going to be.
That's a negative effect.
Negative effect.
Donny said that about Blackburn. The worst thing that ever happened to them was them winning the Premier League because they expect.
Yeah, that's the thing. And also at Leeds, it's the first time I've been to a club where I've noticed that they expect you to play a certain way. Like, if you shell it, they're not having it. I honestly think they'd rather you lose by trying to play and play properly.
The fans or the
fans.
How did Warnock? What was his view on that?
Well, obviously he did it his own way, and to be honest, for the first period, especially when I was on loan initially, we were up there. We were doing really well, on the brink of the playoffs, on the edge of the playoffs. So everything was fine. And you know what it's like, if you're winning and you're doing well, everybody sort of looks past it.
Yeah, not bothered how you're getting the results.
When you start losing or drawing and not getting the wins, and you start dropping, if they sense that we're not playing the right way, yeah, they're onto you. But it's an intense club.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Who's in that squad then? Why are you there? We've had a few Juve stories in the past.
Juve, yeah, he was there.
That's one person that I would have thought Warnock wouldn't sign.
I know, yeah, and he loved him.
Did he?
Yeah, he loved him. He really did. Because he had a big spat, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then
call him a sewer rat.
Yeah, something like that. A sewer rat.
What an insult! It's one of the best insults. My favourite insults. That.
Yeah.
Not even a rat, a sewer rat.
But he did love him, and to be honest, Juve was a really good player. I thought if I can imagine when he had his pace and he was more mobile, I could see why someone would see him and think, yeah, you're decent, because his touch and his strength on the ball. He was good for Leeds. I know. Did you play with him at Doncaster?
Yeah, we couldn't even get him in on time.
Yeah, I know.
Was he like that at Leeds?
He had someone driving him round at Leeds.
Wasn't Semi, was it?
No. He had someone driving him round, but he weren't necessarily. I wouldn't say he was on time all the time, but he weren't really ever turning up late and stuff like that. I think Warnock managed to get into him, and he was playing. So, you know what
just
I mean?
man management again, innit? Just try and keep him happy. And
the fans loved him. They really loved him. And that obviously helps. So he'd done well.
Did you go out with him?
Not been out with him for a while, actually. No, he was. I'm trying to think whether he came to like a Christmas do or anything. I can't remember.
I can't see you at the end of the bar with a glass of
I
Cristal.
don't think he came. I think we went to Dublin. I can't remember seeing him there.
Is that because you
can't imagine him in that old Dublin.
That is cup of tea, is it? Geezer in corner with his guitar.
Yeah.
Can't imagine that's Juice
Ross
genre.
McCormack there?
Yeah, Ross McCormack was there. Becchio was up front. Who else was there? Brownie was obviously there. He had quite a few younger
Alex
lads.
Bruce
No, he wasn't there. He'd left. Yeah, Tom Lees, Jason Pearce, Stephen Warrnocks signed in the January. Lee Peltier was there. Paddy was the keeper. Warnock had signed him.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
It did seem to have this, not just going back to, but the reason he used to sign the same players at every club is that because he knew them and he trusted them.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he loves Paddy because he's had Paddy since sort of day one. He had him at Bury, and Paddy is, to be fair, and was, should I say, a very good goalkeeper, and he was really good at Leeds. So I think that's one of the reasons why he sort of re-signs people.
Yeah.
I mean, Brownie was there before he got there. Ross was there. Ross was a good player for Leeds, but I don't think he really seen eye to eye with him.
Did he not?
No.
He was the best player in the Championship at one bit, Ross.
Is that when he went for about 12 mil to Villa, 14 mil from Fulham?
No, he went
the other way
from
around.
Leeds to Fulham, didn't he?
Was that what it were?
Yeah. He was one of these, Ross. It was difficult because it was probably later on, actually. I think it was after. No, it weren't. It was when Neil Warrnocks was there, because he was a really good player, but he didn't really run a lot. As in, when the other team had the ball, or if you looked at his stats after, it's when stats were obviously coming in and that. If you looked at his stats after a game, he'd hardly covered any distance. And you'd be thinking, but he scored a couple of goals. And I can remember once we played Derby away, and they had big Connor Salmon up front. And Becchio, he was a striker as well, but he was on fire scoring goals. They both were. And then he pulled them in after we got beat, and he was like, "You need to come in and have a look at this." He went, "How can their centre forward run further than both of you put together in the whole game?" And they didn't. So when you were losing or you weren't winning the game, you were struggling because you were playing with 9.
Yeah.
But in fairness to them both, they were both scoring. So you couldn't really.
See, that's where stats can help you. So I'll tell you what then, Gaffer. You just put two fucking Cocker Spaniels up front, will not score.
Yeah. But he's a good player, Ross. He was on the year after he scored. I can't remember how many goals. He must have been touching 30.
You've just nodded at him as if to say, "Do you know any stats?"
Didn't give me anything.
You don't know many on uni, mind. Somebody we've not got on.
Yeah.
So was the Italian there at all then, while you were there?
Yeah, he came sort of in my second year there.
Was he as madcap as we've been led to believe? Do you have many dealings with him?
Yeah, he was hard work. He wanted to basically be the manager, and he wanted to do it, but not obviously take the sessions. So Brian McDermott was the manager at the time.
Oh, the from Reading.
Yeah, he'd come in after Neil Warrnocks towards the end of that first season that I was there. Neil Warrnocks left, and then he started the next season. And to be fair, we started the season really well, and then this Italian guy came in around the Christmas time. But yeah, he was a nightmare. From the get-go, he was like, "Right, I want you to play a diamond," and he was trying to push because he's Italian, that's how they play over there. And he must have been putting pressure on him to do it. And then there was one point where I think it was documented, he'd sacked Brian McDermott, and then Brian McDermott was back in charge, and it must have been a difficult situation, but he was off the rails for some of the decisions he was doing. It's like we was sometimes say we'd play away, and then all of a sudden he got wind that some of the lads were after the game, just getting off and not going back on the coach, and he lost it about that. And then everyone had to come in on the Sunday, and there was a big furore about it. And then we had a Christmas do. We were supposed to go on the Christmas do straight from the game. We lost the game, cancelled it, said everyone had to come back. There was no Christmas do going on. And then in the summer, there was another one where just randomly during the summer break, we all got a letter saying you have to come in on this date for a meeting. And it was say the first 2 weeks of June, so everyone was away at that period, and it was if you don't come back, it's 2 weeks' wages. And we was we was speaking to the PFA saying, "Can you do this?" And they were like, "Yeah, you can." People don't normally do it, but they can.
So what if you're away for a month?
Well, I was in Spain. And I had to come back.
When
just get a flight back for the meeting.
Yeah,
really good meeting.
Pointless. Literally just went in, and he was just sat there, and he just didn't really say anything. And then a few words, broken Italian, and then that was it. Got a flight back, as did most of the lads. But
do you know if you're away for a month,
yeah,
and then let a drop shot and you're away, and you've obviously not turned in and not known fuck all about it.
Yeah.
There was only
I imagine he's like, had a drink at home or something. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a meeting with the lads. Julie, write up this letter. Send it out.
I very much doubt the Italian owner's wife are called Julie.
She's back again, though, isn't she?
She's got to make an appearance.
Yeah, but he was mad. He had like mad superstitions. He hated the number 17. That was one of them, I'm sure. I think he hated the colour purple, something like that. What else did he do? He was you just never knew what he was going to come up with next.
Did he ever come down the changing rooms?
Yeah, all the time.
Hated the colour purple.
Because we signed like straight away. The season after, we signed like load of Italian lads. Like obviously we didn't know them, and some of them were decent players, and he just started signing a lot of foreign players. But those Italian boys, good lads, but we'd like. I'll give you an example. We started the season. Gone in the changing room at half time. We played whatever game of the season it was. They'd just arrived. I'm like, what's that? They're all having a fag in the toilet at half time, and like the English lads are looking at it thinking, what's going on here? And they were in there thinking nothing wrong with this. And it was just a real like they were smoking at the training ground.
Yeah.
And it was just a real.
They'd watch you on a night out and think they're fucking crazy, these English.
Yeah.
Half-time fag.
Yeah, but it ended up being really. You were never going to have success with it because there was just too many issues.
Clicky. That must have felt good at Hillsborough.
Yes, yeah, that was when Neil Warrnocks was in charge. Yeah, I was on loan at the time, and I think I'd signed actually. Sorry, I got that wrong, but yeah, always nice to score against them. Always nice to score against them.
Is that the night that Kirkland got jumped on?
Stole my thunder, didn't he, with that?
Yeah.
It was a bigger story than your free kick.
No one mentioned the goal after the game. They was just talking about Kirky getting punched. But yeah, that was a bit of a. Obviously, at the time, scored, celebrating. I didn't even see it. It was only when I've gone back to the centre circle, I've seen him lying down. I'm thinking, what's happened? And then after the game,
you watched it after the game,
realised, and then Dave Jones is going mental because he's Sheffield Wednesday manager, because he's having a go at Warrnocks, saying that Warrnocks was enticing the fans and getting them going. I'm thinking, he weren't, Dave. He weren't. They just like that anyway. But they packed it out, and it was. But I always enjoyed playing against Sheffield Wednesday, whether it was for Sheffield United, played against them for Derby and Leeds, because for some reason I just really well, obviously because
Sheffield United connection.
Yeah, wanted to score, but yeah, managed to score. And I've seen Kirky came in then as goalkeeping coach at Port Vale. So I always seem to. I've scored a few past Kirky actually. He seems to be my lucky goalkeeper. I've not scored that many goals, but I've scored about 3 or 4 past him.
I hope he's playing. Oh, thank fuck he's playing.
Yeah. I've told you I was a Chris Kirkland Photoshop once.
Really?
Team photo. That was me highlight at Bury.
Oh, really? Oh yeah, he was at Bury, wasn't he, Kirky?
I think he had the day off. So the manager said, Brownie, will you be Kirky today? So I've got his jersey on. And I've just superimposed his head on my yours.
Oh dear me.
Yeah, that was a bit of that was bad really, actually, him getting punched by that fan.
Horrific.
Did he catch him with a good one?
He didn't really, did he? It was more of a palm in the face than anything else.
He took it 8 count.
Did he?
He went down, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
I think.
But then actually, that's just come back to me. After the game, I'm saying about Dave Jones, he must have said something to them in there, because Chris Kirkland came in trying to fight Warrnocks in our changing room.
Did he?
Saying, it's fucking you that. You're getting him going. I was thinking,
God.
It weren't him getting him going. He weren't getting him going. He was just on the touchline. It's a local derby as well at the end of the day. But yeah, I think he was obviously high on emotion, because he was probably shocked, because he probably didn't expect when he turned around someone to do that to him. But
Jesus, man.
That's that.
So when it come to leaving Leeds, were you happy at Leeds and didn't want to?
Yeah, no, I was. I loved it at Leeds. It was brilliant. Great training ground. Ellen Road, great place to play. But my final year, I hadn't been playing. It was when obviously the Italian chap was in charge, and we started the season with excuse me, Dave Ockaday in charge. I don't know if you remember him.
We were at Forest Green.
Yeah,
What was all that about?
It was a really peculiar
Bloke, weren't it? As well as
a little bit
a decision by a peculiar bloke as well, weren't he?
Yeah, apparently I think somehow they were having a meal not together in the same restaurant, and I think the owner had said, "Oh, I want a coach, not a manager," and he said, "Oh, I'll come with the coach," and then he gave him the job. But what he'd done, because it was sort of a surprised. I know why the owner did it, because he thought, if I bring him in, I can control him.
Yeah.
And then basically, he's weighed it up, Dave Hockaday, and he's thought, he's trying to tell me to play these Italian boys and a lot of the foreign lads, and they're not as good as some of the English lads. And he started to think, well, I can't just play them because it's not going to work out in the best interest. And as soon as I remember it so clearly, we played Bradford in is it the Carabao Cup or whatever? It might have been
whatever it's called.
Yeah, Carling Cup at the time. And he put all the homegrown English lads, some of the Italian boys, but he didn't obviously put the team that he was told to play, and he got sacked straight after it.
Did you win the game as well?
No, we didn't. We didn't. But to be fair, we got a lad sent off in the first half, and then is it Billy Knott? Do you know him? He scored a worldie, and they obviously won 2-1, and it was a big derby.
Yeah.
But yeah, he went, and then he brought a foreign coach in called Darko. I can't remember what his second name was now. He was on there for 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yeah. That was a nightmare, 6 weeks.
And how long did Ockaday last then?
God. Not long. Must have been 2-3 months tops. He took us away in pre-season, I can remember that. And then he brought this foreign guy in who took over, and you'll hate this. We had to start training at 2.
Oh no.
No, I know. No one was having it. We hated it. Because they were thinking, well, we kick off at 3. So let's train at 2. So we're in that mindset. It was the worst thing. So you train, basically sit in traffic on the way home.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, you'd always get a nice lie in, but
you can't do anything with your day, can you?
Nobody wanted to do that.
You can't do anything with your day.
It's worth saying though, Liverpool and all the Germans do it, don't they?
Do Liverpool do that?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Is it working for them though?
No. But you know what I mean? Anyone who's used to starting early was like, and if you didn't live close to the training ground, you were raging with it because you thought, what time we're going to get home here?
We used to do it at York on a Monday, but you didn't mind on a Monday because if you've been out on a Sunday, you're fine with that. You know what I mean?
Basically,
so when it suits you,
yeah. Mondays is fine, but not the rest of the week.
Yeah, no. So we used to do that, but as you can tell, I think the player spoke there.
Yeah,
he was only there 6 weeks, and he was just trying to play this diamond, but he couldn't speak English. So it was like, how can you get a team?
That's Bielsa.
Yeah, true. He's obviously got the gift of it.
I think he does speak English, mate.
He must do.
I'm fucking very confident because you know when his interpreter's saying something in English, he always chebs in another little bit, doesn't he? If you watch him. That fucker
puts him right as well.
Yeah,
gets it wrong.
That fucker can speak.
He knows exactly what he's saying.
He can speak the Queen's English better than me, mate. I'm telling you.
It'd be good crack though, wouldn't it? If he could.
He can. How can you be the interpreter? How can the interpreter be saying something in English and him contribute a little bit more to what he has to say?
Yeah.
Unless you can't speak English, like Pochettino, innit? Pochettino at Southampton. Right, obviously not a bigger Premier League club. Never spoke in English.
No.
As soon as he goes to Spurs, mate, he's fucking fluent in it. Just couldn't be asked to speak English. Fuck him.
Yeah, so he didn't last long at all. And then it was Neil Redfern came in. He was
youth team man.
He was already doing the young ones. So he came in and did took over, and then he was manager for the rest of the season basically.
You think the manager just took the job because it was Leeds and they thought there's a good chance I'm going to get a pay up in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months?
Yeah, but I mean, even like,
imagine you're going to come in though and think,
I could be the one.
I'll be the one. Yeah, it's going to be different. I'm going to change it.
But I don't think under the Italian owner that people were coming in and getting pay ups.
Right.
I think if they might have been on like, you get a month's money when you get sacked.
Right.
But for Dave Hockaday, who was a fantastic coach actually, in fairness to him, it was a great opportunity for him. You would never turn that down, would you?
Yeah, didn't he?
You had to have a go at that.
But he's not had a job since.
No, he's not.
You know what I mean?
In fairness, but he was a very good coach. And then Redis took over and did all right, to be fair. But I wasn't really playing, and this was my last year, so I was sort of thinking, you know, I need to look beyond.
Yeah, start thinking about what I want to do next season.
And then I went on loan to Millwall, and that didn't go too well.
Didn't?
No.
Fuck me, Tonge, you've had some clubs, haven't you?
I thought you were fucking Mr. Sheffield United. He's had more than me.
That's the thing. I was at Sheffield United for ages, and then just started getting around.
Who was at Millwall?
Kenny,
manager?
Jacket.
Ian Holloway.
Was it?
Oh, yeah. Ian Holloway was the manager, and the assistant was Nigel Gibbs, who was Brian McDermott's assistant at Leeds.
Right.
So he must have, and I think Neil Warrnocks actually spoke to him and gave him a heads up to go, because I was initially going to go to Bradford, and I'd spoken to Phil Parkinson. And I thought, all right, great, I'll go there, play some games there, and look for next season.
Would that be the year that were they in League One and the year they got to
They were in League
Chelsea?
One. Yeah, they were
that season.
I don't know whether it was that year, but they were doing well. And he wanted me to go there, and I was happy to go there. But then they were only going to pay a small amount of my wages. But they were still going to let me go Leeds. But then Millwall came in and said, no, we'll give maybe half.
Yeah.
And then it was a nightmare, one of them scenarios where they said, well, you either go to Millwall or you don't go on loan. So I was like, right, well,
no choice.
Obviously Millwall was a better opportunity as in league position, but Millwall were really struggling at the bottom of the Championship. And
so you got relegated with Ian Holloway and Millwall.
Well, what happened was I went there with Ian Holloway, and then he got sacked. It's another one I've seen off.
Fucking Grim Reaper, isn't it?
I know. Have you seen me come on that loan deal? I'm in trouble here. But
you could send us under, by the way, by coming on here.
Anyway, this is the last under the cut.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We're not putting this out. We're not going to risk it.
But yeah, I went there, and they obviously the team was struggling. Like I say, whenever you go on loan, but Bradford would have been good because they were pushing towards the top of the league. Yeah.
So that were a different one where you were going in to help them kick on, as opposed to.
And also obviously Millwall from living here is a distance. I didn't actually realise how far it was, and Bradford's even closer than Leeds. But
you're not good at looking at this Google Maps.
I know.
You only had 4 minutes to make this decision.
So I ended up I had to go there. So I went, not that I had to go, but I wanted to go. But that was the decision made for me. So I went there, played some games for them, but then unfortunately Ian Holloway got the sack, and then Neil Harris took over, but he was doing the youth as well.
Right.
And I think he'd been sort of observing what had been happening at Millwall, and I think they'd had a lot of lads through on loan, and he realised, look, we're not going to probably stay up. So he wanted to start. He was working with the younger lads, and straight away
building for next season.
Yeah, he got rid of pretty much all the loan lads went back or whatever, and he brought some of the younger lads through. He kept a couple because sort of position, like for example, they didn't have a left back, so the lad who was on loan he stayed.
I can kind of see that.
Yeah,
from his point of view,
I could. In fairness, as much as I wanted to play, and he was like, "Listen, I'm not saying I want to send you back because you're a bad lad or anything like that, or you're a bad influence," because he was hammering some of them because they'd been there for a bit, and he was like, "Some of them I just want out the door. They're just not good around the place. But I appreciate you're a long way from home, and
you're not going to play.
You're not necessarily going to be playing, and I know that you're not going to want to travel around the country and just be kicking your heels." But
that's fair play from him. To be fair. You can say, "Well, right, fair enough, I understand." And
it was. It was. So I was trying to obviously think, well, what am I going to do now? Because I couldn't sign for anyone else. Unfortunately, sort of Leeds. I spoke to Leeds, and I just went back and just completed the season there, training with them for the last month or so, 6 weeks, because it would have been ridiculous, travelling all the way down to Millwall just to do training. So I decided to do that rather than just travel around and maybe get 20 minutes at the end of a game.
Yeah.
Was it a case of as well falling off the radar?
Yeah, well, that was the idea of going to Millwall to get yourself in the shop window, play some games for next season, and then I was cursing because I was thinking if I'd have been at Bradford, there was no way Phil Parkinson was going to get sacked.
Yeah.
But it was a bit like a Millwall. I think the tide had sort of turned with supporters before I even got there, and it's hard, and obviously it's quite an intense atmosphere.
Is it similar to Leeds on that front?
Yeah, but probably not as bad because there's not as many fans. But
they're just as passionate, and there's just the batter as much, but there's just not. There's only 15,000 instead of 40 of them. That's it.
Pretty much. But yeah, it was unfortunate. So I came back, and that was me done for the season.
I need another piss. So how on earth did you end up down in Stevenage then?
Well, basically after that season where I finished at Millwall and I went back to Leeds, the summer came, had the summer, and then I had a chance to go and play in that Indian Super League.
All right. What age are you in now?
What age am I? 32.
32.
Still
got some football left in you then?
Yeah, still got some footy left in me, yeah. It was for...
Corella Blasters, it's on the team.
No, David Platt was the manager of the team. I can't remember what the team were now, off the top of my head. But I was due to go over and play for them, or I had an opportunity to go and play for them. But I just weren't sure whether or not I fancied it. It was like 4 months, but just over there. And I thought, I'm not one for sort of living miles away from home. And I just weren't sure what it was going to be like. Because
so you picked Stevenage?
I know, yeah. But
it's probably taking the same amount of time to get to fucking India as Stevenage.
Do they pay a lot in India?
I'm not sure, mate. I don't know, but I think obviously when Tonge was on about going, it were only just starting up. You don't know if you're going to get paid and all that. It's a bit of a risk. With now, you can knowing you can go knowing that everything's going to be all right.
Yeah. On paper, it looks all right, and it's decent. But you basically live in a hotel for 4 months because you don't live in an apartment because you go, say you're playing an away game, you don't go then back home. You go to your next game, wherever that is, and you stay in a hotel, and that's how it works.
It's like an international tournament.
Yeah,
throughout
basically, yeah. Because when I did end up at Stevenage, Nicky Shorey was there, and he went and played for that team. And he actually said that. I said, what was it like in India? He said, it was good, but it felt a lot longer than 4 months. Because if you imagine, you're just literally in a hotel all the time.
The thing is, you're only a phone call away from a club sandwich, aren't you? You know what I mean? Every night a week.
That's one way of looking at it, isn't it?
You don't have to make your own bed or out there. You know
3 booners, room for 2, please.
You don't have to clean back at pan if you've shit that back and out there.
What was Sheringham like?
It was really good. I didn't.
So just going back, why did you just think it's not for me then, India? Like,
funnily enough, I thought, no, I'm not doing that. I'd sort of made a decision not to go, and then I sort of had a second thought, and thought to myself, maybe I should just go and do it. But the place had been taken by then; it was too late.
So you would have gone? You think?
Maybe. Yeah, I think I probably would have done in the end. But the problem I had was because I was messing around with India. I never went in anywhere pre-season, and did the training. And then I went and actually did some training with Bolton just because it was local. One of my friends knew Neil Lennon, and he let me come in and train. I just trained with the younger lads. And Andy Hughes, do you know Andy Hughes?
The 10 dog.
The 10 dog. Yeah, he's I think he's at Sheffield Utd now.
Yeah,
doing coaching, but he was one of the coaches at Bolton taking the young lads, and he knew Kevin Watson, who was Teddy Sheringham's assistant at Stevenage at the time, and he'd spoken to him. He said, get him in and come down and train.
What went on our golf trip?
Yeah. And my wife is from actually down south, So I sort of knew where Stevenage was in the area. So I just went down and trained. I don't really know why I just decided to go down and train, because it is quite far. And I just thought, I'll just go down and train and see what it's like. And I went...
I'm living away from home, but I'll go and train at Stevenage.
Yeah. And I just... When I think back, I couldn't really tell you why. I went and trained there. And then one day he just said... I was sort of thinking to myself, right, well, I'd been there for about a week and a half. I thought, if he's not going to sign me now, I'm just going to go back. I'm not going to keep training. And then just out of the blue, he said, oh, I want you to play. They had Portsmouth away. And then I played.
So did you have to sign there and then that day?
Yeah, that was another thing. So he asked me on the Monday morning. And we had a game Tuesday night. So I was sort of thinking, right, and I spoke to my...
Another deadline then, isn't it? Because they've got to be registered.
I was just thinking, right, what am I going to do here? But I only signed, I thought to myself, I'll just sign for
48 hours.
3 months till Christmas. And I thought, it might only be 3 months, so like I say, I'll just deal with it for then. And I was thinking, in my head, if I play there, getting the shot win, I might then come back and sign back up north or whatever. Anyway, was down there, like I was saying to you before, Stevenage, the training ground's fantastic. Like, you would never think it, because the ground's not sort of up to the same level in that way. It's good, really good club, well run. But yeah, I ended up signing, and I signed for 3 months, played all the time, and then just extended my deal for 18 months then. And
for 18 months?
Yeah, so in the January I signed for the rest of that season and another year.
It's really good, Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it'd be like.
Has he had another job since?
Yeah, singing as a tree.
He went to India and all. But he was alright. It was a classic case of, and it's unfortunate and you just can't do anything about it, where he didn't know the level.
Yeah.
So he didn't know the players that we were coming up against. He didn't know the teams, how the game was played there, and he was probably just learning as much as he was going, from game to game. So it was hard. If he could have had longer, he might have been better. But we were struggling a little bit, and then he left. Another one.
Jesus.
Yeah, he left in the January.
So did your missus move down with you then, or did she stay up
No,
here?
not straight away. She stayed here, and then she moved down at the end of that season for the year. So it worked out all right in that sense. But yeah, Teddy left. He was really good, to me, and it was a shame that we couldn't get the results for him, because he would have been good to play for, long term. But it just didn't work out for those reasons. And what you find is, I'm sure you understand it, anyway, but when you sort of play League 2 level, it's sort of very inconsistent.
Every game's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But you don't really know what the same is, if you know what I mean.
It's like, I suppose that's why you have the different levels, because people who are playing in the Championship and the Premier League, they can consistently do it, whereas you've got good talented lads, but they might give you like 2 good games and then 6 bad ones. So it was just up and down there. But then one of the coaches again, it was one of his coaches, took over, and then we played to the end of the season and stayed up. And then the second season it was good.
How did you find it mentally, from obviously playing at the levels that you played with, to then dropping down to these players who are inconsistent and whatever?
Found it quite hard at first. Well, at first I didn't, because I was back in and I was playing.
So you were all right.
But then the longer it went, you do get frustrated at times. But the thing that I found most difficult was that I could see what players could do, but then I couldn't get my head around why
the end product wasn't there.
Yeah, they couldn't
consistently
do it. I'm thinking, I've seen you do that. I know you can do that. Why have you just... And also that I found straight away the mentality is slightly different.
I think they're more big time the lower you go.
Yeah, everyone's got more confidence.
Yeah.
But the lads at Stevenage were fantastic, great bunch of lads. But it's just everyone. So you've got, say, at Stevenage, you've got lads who have come out of non-league. You've got lads who have been maybe working and have just come into football. And it's different from playing, say, in the Championship where everyone's just bang on it like that.
Yeah.
For some lads that you're coming up and playing with, this isn't their main thing.
Yeah.
They're thinking, well, I'm doing this for now, but I'm going to move on to something else.
Yeah. Everybody's come through different journeys.
It's completely different
things going on.
It's like people are out on Thursdays, like Thursday night, and like people are going out or coming in on Friday saying, yeah, well, 2 or 3 last night, 3 or 4, whatever, went out for a little bit, and I'm thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, everyone isn't as probably focused on it as much as what you used to.
Yeah.
But then, it was a good side, it was a good setup. I really enjoyed it there. Made some really good friends there.
So what were Port Vale when you went to Port Vale?
Still in Stoke. It was still Stoke.
Yeah, they were League 2.
One of your mates has been in touch as well.
Who?
Porty.
Oh yeah, he said.
What was the question?
What's he had to say?
Pewey getting sent. You got Pewey sent off or something, and putting the league status in jeopardy.
Oh God. He's well over the top with that. He's well over the top with that. One short pass I gave him. One short pass, and then he.
Was it a short pass, a little bit like the one at Battle of Bramall Lane?
It weren't quite that short. No, it's we played. Who was it? We played. I think we played Chesterfield. I know why he's saying it. It's because we played Chesterfield and we were dead close. We were battling towards the bottom, and we needed to sort of make sure we won the game or didn't get beat anyway. And then Pewey had just scored. To be fair, he just scored, celebrated like you don't know what, and then it was just before half time. Someone played it into me, and I've just tried to take a touch to set it for him, and it's sort of just come off the bottom of my studs. One of their players has come in and he's sort of come in to tackle him and just cleaned him out, got sent off, so we're down to 10. And yeah, I think Popey's well over the top of that.
So your short pass,
Yeah.
Pewis thought, I need to go for this, and he's got a straight red.
Yeah, basically. He went straight.
Put our league status in jeopardy.
It was, by the way, it was on Facebook as well. By the way, it wasn't on Twitter that Popey got in touch.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think Pew was still a little bit excited because it was just after he scored. So I think the adrenaline was still running.
A few people mentioned the owners as well at Port Vale. Were they a similar ilk of being odd?
Yeah, I think.
Someone mentioned out of date pies. Is that something?
It could have been all sorts going on down there, but I think the owner, not now, last season, the season before, it needed to change. The fans wanted him out, and I think he wanted out, but he just couldn't get out. And like now, this season they're flying, which is great to see because it is a really good club.
So who came in after Brownie then? Aspen, not Aspen?
Yeah, Neil Aspen came in after
Nogs.
Brownie, and yeah,
Lee Noga.
yeah, he was. Did you know him from York?
Yeah, I played him at York. Fucking back in the day.
Yeah. Well, they came in, did all right to start with, but then it just sort of kept us up, and then sort of the second season, it just never really got going for them. It sort of just stagnated. But they needed to change the owners, and now they have done. Everyone's sort of
Happy.
yeah, because the difference is massive. You know, when the fans are on side. And they're happy because you lose and thinking, well, we've got what we want. We've got the new owners in charge, but they're not touching the playoffs now. They're doing so well this season. Yeah.
How long have you been finished then?
Just finished at the end of last season, but I didn't. The second season I was at Port Vale, I didn't play. I didn't start the season, and then I just never really got going with it. I think I sort of not accepted that I didn't want to do it anymore. I think I just got a little bit past it where I still enjoyed going in and training and being amongst the lads and that, but I wasn't. I think I decided to stop because in that second year I didn't miss the games.
Yeah,
I'm not in it anymore.
I was exactly the same.
Yeah.
I was exactly the same. You know, if you're not playing, normally you're banging on the manager's door.
And I weren't.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I weren't playing and I weren't involved, and it weren't really bothering me.
Yeah.
And you sort of think to
fantastic!
yourself,
I've got weekend off.
yeah, you sort of think, well, why? And I didn't want to just carry on playing just for the sake of it and then be going to a game on a Saturday thinking, oh, I just got to get through this. I don't even want to be here.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do that. It's not fair on anyone, that is it?
No.
So that's how it panned out.
You set up a coaching thing.
Yeah, started an academy. Well, It's through Lee Bromby, a lad that I played with before.
Is he still at Huddersfield, Broms?
Yeah, he's at Huddersfield. He'd sort of set, I'd say it's like a mini franchise really, of this coaching sort of platform up. And I've set one up here with him, his help and his team. So it's just sort of going through now where we've got Academy Night, MT18 it's called. It's just Kersley, Bolton. It's not far from here.
So is it in a school or?
No, it's on like an outdoor astro, at a place called Manor. And it's good. It's like from kids from 4 to 14 come down and do training. It's not like a team, it's for extra training, but the coaching's really good.
Is it elite or is it just, can anybody come?
No, anybody can come down and do it. It's not elite, but the lads who are doing the coaching, basically it's better proper football coaching for kids who, because a lot of kids play for teams, but it's difficult if it's
someone's dad who's running it.
That's it, Pac, yeah.
You know what
if
I mean?
it's someone's dad who's running it, they might be doing a little bit of passing and then they will have a game.
Yeah.
Where it's a more structured type of training. So that's what we've done, and we're setting up like a TOTS session that will be happening and trying to get into camps and stuff and going into schools to do coaching there with the kids and take over the sports part. So
were you big on the nights out during your playing days?
No, I don't think I was, probably not in comparison to some of the lads. Definitely not.
Just because we had a bit of a running theme, haven't we? Last few weeks. Your top 5 night out.
You're a Tuesday man. If they're a Tuesday night, were you on it? You won't be like, oh, don't fancy it. I'm on it.
I've been out with you a couple of times. You're a stayer.
Yeah.
You'd walk into the pub at 1 o'clock and you'd still be going strong. There till the death.
I think, to be honest, I wouldn't really. When I was at Sheffield, I wouldn't go out really ever in the midweek because I was living in Sheffield and it's like a bit of a
bubble.
Yeah, in that sense. I'd go out Saturdays, if you had no Tuesday game sometimes, but it's like if you go out, you could be going out not drinking, but if someone and you always feel like, especially with Chef Wednesday, because you used to get a few times where everybody was just in the town, so you get the Chef Wednesday fans and they
some stick.
Get pelters.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So you're just thinking,
do I need it?
Yeah, and they were struggling a bit at the time, so it makes it even worse.
So if you were organising a night out then, with all the lads that you've played with in the past, which 5 would you take with you?
Which 5?
Yeah.
For your best night out.
Oh, flipping heck.
See, normal football podcasts would ask who's the best 5 players you've played with. We're not interested in that.
I can tell you put it that way there. I'd probably take Cozzy.
I thought about the first one that were in my head.
For comedy value alone.
That's Rob Coslup. You're looking, thinking who's Cozzy?
I'll let Brownie come because he'll organise it.
I don't think that was me.
What?
Brownie. I am Brownie.
Oh. I'm leaving you two boys out.
No, we've had a couple of messages saying, can people explain, please, who the brownies are and whatever?
Yeah, well, I'm Brownie.
I know you are. Nice to meet you, Chris. You know what I mean? So Tonge said Brownie, so Michael Brown.
Just like Bielsa's translator here now, ain't you?
CC.
Who else? I'm trying to think of some lunatics on nights out. You always make it interesting. If I go from my Sheffield United days, I spent a lot of time with a lad called Stephen Cabba. Do you know him?
The striker Stephen Cabba.
Yeah, I used to go out with him quite a lot.
Yeah?
Good mates with him. Cabs would come. How many is that?
3.
3. Because I'm thinking of people who know each other here. Who else? I used to go out with quite a bit.
See, you don't have Morgs on just to look after the kitty?
You can't get the kitty though, can you? Brownie looks after the kitty. He'd look after it, I'm sure. And who else? 2 more. I'm going to have to say Pewey because he'll batter me otherwise. He'll be devastated. I'll give him a mention as well. And who else?
That's Danny Pugh.
Daniel Pugh.
That's Danny Pugh.
Daniel Pugh, formerly of Bury, Preston, Stoke City.
Yeah, and one more. I'm going to say Jags because I know that people just back me for saying that because they think I mention him all the time. But no, it's difficult actually to just answer that just off the top of my head.
I know. To be fair, we should actually give a bit prior warning, but we just keep forgetting to line people up with it.
Yeah.
Thanks
So do you
for
know?
coming on, mate.
No problem.
We'll finish, shall we?
It's been a long one, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'd have said them 5 anyway because everyone sort of knows each other. So
You've gone for team cohesion as well.
team cohesion, yeah, works, done it.
Good
Better
strategy.
in the long run.
Good strategy.
It does.
Yeah.
So,
Cheers, mate.
yeah, thank you
Nice
very much
one,
for
Tommy.
coming on, pal.
Good luck with your coaching, your academy and all that.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to go, how do they find out about it? How do they get in contact to come?
MT18 website. Yeah.
.com.
.co.uk. MT18 Academy.
Nice one, mate. Good
Cool.
luck with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, top man, mate. Thank you very much.